Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Monday Night Racing here on the Revo Racing Network. Tonight, we're bringing you the second race of the season for the Racing Revolution Coastal Financial Truck Series as they go to Nashville Super Speedway tonight for 150 laps for the Racing for Freedom 200 here tonight. With me in the booth, as always, is going to be Justice Murphy and Rob Rader running the production. Justice, on from Daytona last week, where we saw a great finish onto the super speedway. That's not really a super speedway here at Nashville. Man, how are you feeling about the race here tonight?
Man, I'm really intrigued to see who can carry momentum more than anything, right? The speed's not really going to translate as we go from pack racing to maybe a little more. You're going to see a little bit of pack, but maybe a little more single file, guys having a battle for a certain line. So I'm interested to see who can take a good finish last week and parlay that into something good this week.
That's gonna be really interesting to see. Speaking of last week's winner and who can parlay that into a good finish, Clint Cox, the man who won last week for the inaugural race of the Racing Revolution Truck Series, going to be currently showing to be on pole. We'll get the starting lineup once qualifying is over. Drivers working on finishing up their laps. But it gives us a quick moment to thank Coastal Financial as they've jumped on board to be the primary sponsor of the Racing Revolution Coastal Financial Truck Series. For all your financial needs, be sure to check out Coastal Financial at their website, coastalfinancial.com, and on their Facebook page at Coastal Financial, and more on them later on in the race. But Justice, drivers finishing up their qualifying laps. Track position here at Nashville, always important for these guys, as passing is typically pretty hard here.
Yeah, these guys are going to want to set themselves up from the very beginning, not to have to play any crazy strategy games. Here, Trevor's, I believe they've got 5 total sets of tires. Basically guarantees you're going to have to run each of them about 30 laps, which is about 75 or 80% of their fuel tank. As far as what they're running tonight, about 40 laps or so on fuel. So, going to make it very interesting. You got to be very careful with the tires. You don't want to have to play some kind of weird game and take 2 when you really need 4 and try to hope for cautions or anything like that. So, great qualifying efforts here from a few guys, Trevor.
Yeah, as we get our starting lineup here, Clint Cox is going to start on the pole in the 03 machine with Quentin Stewart to his outside in second. Wayne Lowe will roll off in third with Frank Hughes in fourth. Kevin Orlando Jr. is going to start in fifth position with Alex Berube in sixth. Michael Reed will roll off in seventh with Nick Alves in eighth. Waylon Turner will start in ninth, and Devin Hudgens will round out the top 10.
Yeah, followed by Chris Nail and Grant Thorpe in row 6. Mike Peters and Jack Clemens in row 7. Michael Bennett, Dominic Hughes in row 8. Chris Stamper and John Fike in row 9. Tay McDonald and Dylan Picklesheimer in row 10 there, Trevor, rounding out the top 20.
Yeah, those down there in the top, or those tail end, or those down there in 20th. And then you go from Picklesheimer in 20th, you go to Jacob Sergovich in 21st. Caleb Gilbert's going to start in 22nd with Al Likens in 23rd. Michael Call will roll off in 24th with Matthew Robinson in 25th. Chris Schaefer will start 26th with Dustin Adams in 27th. Jackson McGeorge is going to roll off to his outside in 28th. With Scott Negus 29th, and kind of a surprise based off practice times, James Loveland, Justice, all the way down in 30th.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see him make his way up as we have Jake Williams in 31st, Trevor Keith starting in 32nd. Joseph Gendron in 33rd. Kyle Diaz 34th. Peyton Presley 35th. Justin Hughes 36th. Eddie Donahue 37th. Travis Gilbert 38th. And Parker Johnston starting shotgun on the field, Trevor.
39 drivers here tonight for 150 laps. Stage break at lap 45. No fast repairs this week, Justice. So kind of a change from what we saw last week at the super speedways, where the drivers will be gifted one fast repair. Here tonight at the mile and a half and all tracks that are not super speedways, no fast repair. So how does that? How do you think that's going to affect these guys here tonight?
Yeah, you hope they dial back a little bit of the aggression. You want to see some aggression because you want to see them racing hard, but you hope maybe they settle in, get some green flag runs in, really let the race, come to them. 150 laps around this place may seem short, but I promise you, you have plenty of time to get wherever you need to go.
Yeah, I think that patience, I think, is going to be key. We've seen in previous leagues and kind of a little bit last week what being impatient is going to get you, and that's not going to be too pretty for some of these guys. But pace car is off. Clint Cox going to lead us to the green flag. Quentin Stewart going to beat his outside as we get ready to go into the Geico restart zone for 150 laps here around Nashville Super Speedway. And the green flag is out, and Clint Cox on the throttle. A little bit of a push from Wayne Lowe in the 34 machine, but a great start for the 03 as they head down into turn number 1.
Yeah, it looked like the outside lane got a little bit of a bad jump there. That can happen. You have a long roll here to get to restart zone and green flag. So, yeah, we see Clint Cox jump out to the early lead, take control. 2 by 2 behind him. It looks like Quentin Stewart maybe has single filed it out, but yeah, these guys getting ready to battle. Let's see a little bit of settling down, boys. Let's get out there and run some fun ones.
This is where it's going to be a little bit tricky. Out of turn number 4, cold tires. These trucks can be a little bit loose so far. Everybody looks to be navigating 4 pretty well as we stay 2 by 2 for a majority of the field. As the drivers try to get this sorted out, Nick Alves going to be back there doing some side-by-side racing. You see Alex Berube right there getting by the 27 of Kevin Orlando. Frank Hughes trying to hold on and go to battle with Wayne Lowe. That's going to be for 3rd and 4th, but you can see everybody kind of fanning out throughout the field there as they head back into 3.
Yeah, and we got a little half spin here from Nick Alves. Took a little bump from Devin Hudgens. Checked the field up, and Nick goes fully around, and there's going to be a caution there in turn 4, Trevor.
A handful of trucks involved. More trucks piling in late. There's looks like Nick Alves. I saw it for sure spin around. I think Caleb Gilbert might have been involved in that, and a handful of others. As first caution out early on lap number 2, Justice, and unlike last week, what damage you got is the damage you got, and you got to go down pit road and get that repaired.
Yeah, and that's it feels like forever when you're sitting there on pit road waiting for it to repair any of these damages. As it looks like we've got the replay up. Yeah, a little bit of a bump there. Nick maybe got into the corner a little slower than anticipated by the truck behind him, but yeah, you got to anticipate guys trying to save a little bit here, and some guys just wanting to settle down. Some guys wanting to race. So you end up with this little pile up here, and that just one of those things that happens in the racing business, Trevor. We're going to see a few cars lose bumpers. I think Grant Thorpe in the 77 maybe he can head on down to DG and get himself a new back bumper.
Yeah, might have to go down there and get a new back bumper. You'll see him here a little bit as we can get another look here. A little bit of a shot from, I believe, the 84 of Hudgens, and then right there, Grant Thorpe gets involved. I saw Jacob Sergovich there gets hit. Trevor Keith is well involved. Scott Negus, I believe, another one of those drivers involved in that. About 5 or 6 trucks there, Justice, caught up in the first caution of the night.
Yeah, that's tough luck, and as you kind of alluded to there, you got what you got now. Go down, get as much of it repaired. But man, the aero really hurts on these trucks around this track. Basically, around anywhere they go, longer than a mile. Everything feels bad for damage. You bump somebody, get a little bitty dent, kind of in that front right or front left, and your truck is 3 miles an hour slower down the straightaway. So yeah, every bit of damage is going to hurt until these boys can get it completely fixed up here, Trevor.
Yeah, it's. I think they're going to be in for a long night. A couple drivers down pit road: Grant Thorpe, Scott Negus, Dustin Adams, Chris Stamper, Joseph Gendron, Tay McDonald, Jacob Sergovich, Caleb Gilbert, Matthew Robinson, the handful of drivers down pit road. Parker Johnston apparently not taking the green flag here tonight. So 38 trucks officially started tonight, and about 9 trucks down pit road to start this off as we get the choose count here.
Yeah, Choose Cone's in a little different position this week. No clear boundary marker at the start finish line here at Nashville. So the truck admins decided, hey, we've got to move it back, get it somewhere noticeable. And we see somebody there that's maybe going to get a questionable review later if they don't own up to it now. Trevor, it looked like he might have hit the box, as I believe the rule is 4 above or 4 below. So we'll see if anybody takes an EOL to avoid any penalties.
Yeah, it looked pretty close. What? Not quite sure which truck that was, but
Yeah.
looked a little bit close there. And we'll keep an eye on race control and see if anybody does take. It looks like we got one dropping to the back there, and I might.
That looks like the 27 of Kevin Orlando. Yeah, Kevin was not the truck I thought I saw. Maybe nicked that. I thought it was a truck with a red or white hood. So Kevin, maybe a little before we were actually looking at it there. Trevor thinks he might have hit it. So gonna take his EOL now. And hope that he doesn't get involved in one of those back end wrecks as we're getting ready to see the pace car pull off, Trevor. And this is big here. First restart where they got to go to the zone. This is a long, long roll to get there.
See if we have any issues with the drivers speeding here. The top two speeding into the zone right now, waiting on Clint Cox to go, and he elects to wait all the way to the green flag. And thankfully, nobody really gets checked up on that. But that's a leader's, discretion there, Justice. But waiting that long, we've seen that cause issues in the past. But everybody's so far clear of that restart with Clint Cox getting free, and Frank Hughes though not going to waste any time trying to look to his inside down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Frank Hughes wanting to get up here and battle for this lead. Trevor, we saw in anticipation of this these guys starting this season, they ran a race here, and Frank Hughes was pretty stout. Him and a couple other guys. So we see Wayne Lowe also trying to make his way into the third position. But yeah, this battle for the lead maybe is just heating up here, Trevor.
Right now, we'll see if Frank can get that done. Had to give it up in turn one and turn back into turn one, but like you were touching on, looked pretty quick in that practice race that we watched them run here a couple of weeks ago. I think got caught up in a late race incident, but that 61 machine showing speed right now. Top three single filed out. It's right here with Alex Berube, Wayne Lowe. That's gonna be that side by side battle for fourth and fifth position as those two keep it up going down the front straightaway.
Yeah, these are two hard-nosed guys. Love to race hard. Alex, one of those guys that was really, really quick in practice, Trevor. When I was looking at him, he was second on consecutive 10-lap average. So you expect him to maybe work his way forward here as we see him drop behind Wayne, and now he's going to be battling for that fifth position.
Battling now, I believe that's going to be the 30 of Waylon Turner. That's to his inside and the outside, not necessarily where you want to be at this point in time. I think the inside is still going to be that preferred line, but I think later on you can use that outside to your advantage, keep that momentum up, and really pinch the truck to the bottom. You see Turner there able to get clear. Berube trying to get back to his rear bumper. Behind him, Michael Reed, Devin Hudgens doing battle for seventh and eighth position. But throughout the field, you see them exiting turn number two, single filed out, back up front. Here we go again. Frank Hughes closing in on that 03 of Clint Cox.
Yeah, and we see the 03, Trevor. I was watching him for a couple laps there while you were kind of running through the battles. He has actually moved up, basically running a lane and a half to 2 lanes off the bottom in the middle of 1 and 2, lane and a half in 3 and 4. Just trying to do what you're talking about, keep that momentum up. That's a luxury you have as the truck in clean air here. He can run wherever he kind of wants to, and then if he feels the need to take away the air from the 61 somewhere, he's got that maneuverability. So, yeah, you're kind of in the catbird seat when you're the leader here and you get to have all the clean air, but it looks like the 61 is kind of brushing that aside, hanging on to a nice close proximity to the 03, maybe closing in a little bit at times, but yeah, I expect these two to be battling, and looks like we got a battle again, 19 maybe under attack again, Trevor.
Berube got really wide out of turn number 4 and lost a little bit of momentum. Had to give one spot up to Michael Reed. Now the 39 of Dominic Hughes trying to look in and potentially capitalize on the mistake the 19 made. A couple laps before that, Devin Hudgens got up out of the groove, got into the wall on the front straightaway, and gave up a handful of positions in the 84 machine. So a point that we're going to have to watch out for, and a spot that's well known to these drivers, is that push out of turn 4 can really get these guys into trouble. As we look further on back, you can see there the 84 of Hudgens as he's potentially giving up another spot here to the 14 of Michael Bennett.
Yeah, Devin got up into the wall there, and that's never good on these trucks. Again, everything you flatten out, beat in as far as the sheet metal goes on these trucks hurts the aero. As we see the 14 just kind of staying side by side. Again, even as hurt as that aero is right now, Devin Hudgens able to hang on just because he's in the preferred lane. We'll see here as it looks like Michael Bennett may clear him off of 2. Yeah, he's going to clear him pretty easily, and there's going to be a run. Devin's still under attack here.
Attack now, the 56 of James Loveland going to be that truck looking to the inside, and that's a man on a mission right now, up 17 spots from where he qualified, make it 18 spots as he gets by the 84 of Hudgens, the 56. Oh. He gets a little loose there and drops down, but the benefactor, I think, Justice, of that early wreck, gaining a couple of free spots as those drivers had to make a pit stop, is that 56 machine.
Yeah, 56 machine is quick. We saw him second fastest in practice on single lap speed. Didn't get to make a 10 lap run or 20 lap run, so we don't know what he's hiding for these long run speeds here, Trevor. But these guys, one of the things we didn't really get to talk about during that caution. With that caution, guys that were able to save just a little bit of fuel should be able to make it to the stage break on fuel, Trevor. So these guys, basically, you got what you got here unless there's another caution.
Yeah, the one thing we didn't touch on tonight, expected fuel run somewhere between 40 and 42 laps, maybe 43 if you can save, maybe 44 if you're somebody like Grant Thorpe, who's really known to save fuel well. But first stage was at lap 45, but with that caution, and speaking of cautions, caution number 2 out on the racetrack.
Yeah, so now we get to see a little bit of a strategy play perhaps here, Trevor. It looks like we got Chris Stamper in the grass, and then the 98 of Jackson McGeorge also in the grass, was maybe in that inside wall. Rob will get this pulled up for us, our lovely producer, and we're going to see a replay here just momentarily. But yeah, lap 16, going to lap 45 here, Trevor. Got to really question what these guys might do as we get this replay pulled back up. We got a little bit of 3-wide racing. Oh, looks like the 26, 25 get tangled up, catch a whole gaggle of trucks here, Trevor. And perhaps the 98 maybe got the worst of it going down and getting that inside wall.
We'll see how bad that is for him. But another truck in that you touched on, we saw him take the penalty, Kevin Orlando. He's the third truck on that outside. When we get that replay pulled back up, and Justin sees that third truck on the outside line there, and you said he's going to go put himself back there in a bad spot right here at a turn number 2. These trucks come together, and we'll see right there hard contact with the 5 and the 98, and just that nose damage. That could be a game changer for Jackson McGeorge there, just that little bit of nose contact.
Yeah, the 25 and the 98 probably get the worst of that. Every truck involved gets a bad piece of it, but those guys that took nose contact into the outside and inside walls here, that's massive in these trucks. It looks like we've got some guys pitting, but for the most part, our top 10 or so stayed out, maybe top 20. So guys realizing, hey, the tire sets are limited. Can I really afford to take one? We've only run about, 11 green flag laps on the tires. What's it worth doing here? Do you burn a set or stay out? I think right now these guys hoping to save that set, just run this thing to the stage on the set they're on.
Yeah, I think taking tires now would be a gutsy call and a little bit too soon for them to do so, only having those 4 extra sets. So smart call here by everybody. He's staying out. Trucks in pit road. Chris Nail, Kevin Orlando, Nick Alves, Grant Thorpe, Jackson George, Chris Stamper, Scott Negus, Jacob Serkovich, Matthew Robinson. Jacob Serkovich, Matthew Robinson been in for a couple of laps getting some damage repaired, but I think a majority of those guys that Justice at pit getting the damage from the earlier incident and that incident fixed up to get back out there and hold on to the stage where they can get more damage fixed.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask a question here, Trevor. I mean, if you're one of these guys, say 15th on back, I mean, would your strategy change? Maybe you pit, take your tires, and hope it goes green to the stage. Try to get the track position. Maybe try to get a free playoff point for winning the stage. All those stage points could matter. You need all of those you can get, especially if you think, man, I need something to kind of spark me. I think maybe that was the play because even if you get that late caution in the stage, say with 10, 12 to go, and those other guys have to go get tires, maybe you bury them in traffic and kind of hang on to your position. Then you just reset at the end of the stage. So I would have liked to have seen a couple of those guys maybe make a little different strategy call, but I also understand why you don't here, as I believe these boys are getting ready to come to the choose cone, Trevor, and this could be what determines the stage, as we've seen track position pretty much be king among the front, say, 6 to 8 cars.
Yeah, I think the choose cone here is really going to set these guys up for how the stage is going to finish. Be interesting to see if Frank Hughes and Clint Cox, if they're going to battle it out for the stage, and how that's going to play out. But going back to that tire situation, I mean, I'm right there with you on that, and kind of the, do you risk it? Do you not risk it? Some of the guys that maybe are running full time, maybe you like to see them come down pit road and take a set there just to kind of shake things up. But at the same time, maybe feeling as we got one truck through the grass there, making sure they're really safe for the choose cone, cooling down the tires. Interesting call there.
I think he saw the two further up there. Looked like the two truck may have hit that. So again, we'll see if anybody maybe said, "Hey, you might have been a little closer." If he thought he was a little closer, if he's willing to test it. I know it can kind of get interesting when you're dealing with stages and stage points and how these choose cones work out. But yeah, these boys getting ready to get back to battling. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what, Trevor. If Frank Hughes can get a good restart here, maybe make some kind of crossover into maybe 3 and 4 on lap 1 of the restart, he's probably got a good chance to get by Clint Cox. As Clint Cox has not really just driven away from him at any point yet.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting to see here. And Cox went really late in the box last time around, so we'll see if he elects to do the same thing, or if he goes a little bit early to change it up. That's one thing as the driver in second. If the leader keeps doing the same restart over and over again, you can time it really well. But we'll see what happens here. Clint Cox into the Geico restart zone, and again waiting till the last minute to go and accelerate. And Frank Hughes doesn't time it right again as that outside line gets stacked up heading into turn number 1.
Yeah, catches them sleeping a little bit there. That's something you learn as you race around guys a little more, and we'll see that throughout the season. Whatever he's willing to do, you can learn how to roll that restart zone and get the right jumps. That's just things that happen as you get more comfortable around guys. As those front two kind of check out a little bit by about 5 truck lengths on third. But you got 3 wide action back here for about 7th here, Trevor.
Yeah, this is where you got to get careful. It gets really tight out of these corner exits, but it's going to be 3 wide with the 2 machine of Jack Clements, Mike Peters, Waylon Turner. Those 3 going to still be 3 wide as they head into turn number 1 and 2, and contact made, and there goes another truck hard into the outside wall. I gotta say, our cameraman right on board, or right on top of things, as we were on board with the 95 of Mike Peters as he made hard contact with the outside wall.
Yeah, that's probably night-ending contact for the 95 of Mike Peters, and yeah, very very tight on entry into 1 here, and 3 trucks going for 2 lanes, and the 95 just runs out of room there in the left front of Waylon Turner in the 30. Not much you can do if you're either of those guys. If you want to push, that's the decision you make. Is you're willing to wreck it if that happens. So yeah, we see these guys run real hard in here. It's kind of a sin thing, and 95 sent it, and there it is. So yeah, one of those things that happens, Trevor. I think that you and I have had that happen our fair share of times. That's how you learn who you can and can't send it in there against, who's going to lift, who isn't.
Yeah, just one of those things. You're 3 wide. Obviously, you don't want to be 3 wide for that long, and trying to send it in there in turn number 1 was not clear. And for Waylon Turner, I mean, you're just you're a passenger at that point, and there's nothing you can really do about that. And one driver, Justice, on pit road, and it's the leader. Clint Cox going to be the only one inside the top 10, top 20. I mean, all the way down to, it looks like Dustin Adams in 26 is going to be the next car that comes down pit road, and a handful in the back of the field. But Clint Cox, the first driver to come down pit road.
Yeah, this looks like a play on math, if I'm having to guess here. Trevor he's mathing it out, going, hey, I can pit now. I feel like I'm pretty good. I'd maybe just forfeit some stage points, come out after the stage in the lead once everybody cycles through the pits. And then I'm just going to kind of make it a math equation from there. How many laps can I get on each set to get to where I need to go? So, yeah, I think this is a bet on himself and a bet on how he's got the math working in his head. That's the hard part about iRacing, Trevor. Nobody's got Steve Letarte up on that box telling them what to do.
No, nobody's got Steve Letarte on the box in real life. Maybe a couple people have Chad Knaus as the in-game crew chief for you, but I think all he does is really yell at you for doing bad things on the racetrack. So we'll see what happens, what that call is going to play out, or how that call is going to play out for Clint Cox. And the one thing that worries me, Justice, he's going to the back end of this field, and we saw it with Kevin Orlando. Once you're back there, it's kind of you're kind of in that hornet's nest, as they call it, and in the danger zone. So we'll see if Clint can get through that relatively unscathed.
Yeah, I believe as Bubba Wallace called it Sunday at Texas, man. He said once he got back there with the squirrels, he was having a hard time. And it's not that you just, are all of a sudden bad at driving when you get back there. It's not that anybody is, but everybody knows you've got to clear guys, you've got to get out of dirty air, you've got to run where they're not. And so everybody's fighting for the same inch on the racetrack, and that's where you end up with the mistakes. And, it's racing deals, just kind of one of those things where the aero game has put us. You have to try to get every inch you can and see if you can clear that guy.
And we'll see if Clint can get cleared of that. But drivers looking for, I believe, to choose this time by. But while we have a chance, give a quick shout out to Coastal Financial and a quick little read for them, as they are the main sponsor here for the Racing Revolution Truck Series. Coastal Financial's goal is to provide comprehensive financial planning solutions tailored to each individual's unique needs and goals, with the aim of empowering their clients to make informed financial decisions and achieve their financial potential. You can find Coastal Financial at coastalfinancial.com and, of course, on Facebook at Coastal Financial. Big shout out to those guys for stepping on board and sponsoring the Racing Revolution Truck Series for their inaugural 10 race season. Justice, as they got off to a great start last week at Texas, and here early on, almost to this first stage, or almost to the stage break here, we've already seen some great racing action here in Nashville.
Yeah, these guys running hard. And, Trevor, what would be the equivalent of being able to interview a guy, say, at the infield care center for us? Is it a guy being able to go into Discord and call guys out? If so, man, this 95 truck, a little frustrated with how that three wide battle went, and, really kind of called out the 30 truck. So we'll see if maybe we get a little beef action on track at some point. But not happy with the way he was raced there. Just felt like that battle should have gone differently. And I understand you feel slighted when you get wrecked and you feel like you're running good. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out in the long run. But when we come here tonight, see how this goes. I'll tell you, a big beneficiary of all these cautions, Trevor, has been that 56 truck of James Loveland creeping up around eighth, I think, right here. And then you got Michael Bennett creeping up here into the top 10. So some guys that maybe had to make a good run to get into the stage points, they have a real good chance now, Trevor.
Have a good chance. Another one creeping up almost into the top 10. Trevor Keith up 21 spots. The 15 truck we saw in the first caution of the night. So Skate got through there with some little damage up inside almost the top 10. But Frank Hughes going to lead us back to the green flag, and he is on the throttle, not wasting any time getting that truck going as he gets a great jump over the 91 of Michael Reed. That's going to be 2x2. Quentin Stewart, Wayne Lowe for third and fourth as it thunder down into turn number one.
Yeah, you see a lot of guys going low here, Trevor, that are going late, in the box here, Trevor. And that seems to be the theme, maybe waiting to save those early jumps till later and you can get a big, nice clear. But, yeah, we see them kind of single file out first through fourth. The battle sorts itself out. We're side by side for fifth with the 19 of Alex Berube and the 2 of Jack Clemens.
Yeah, Berube Clemens going to try to fight that battle. It's, like you said, there for fifth and sixth position. Right behind them, the 39 of Dominic Hughes. Michael Bennett looking to the inside of that 39 machine. And then you got James Loveland right there kind of watching suit. So it's 2x2 from fifth all the way back to about the ninth position. And a little bit further on back through the field, you see there's the trucks fanning out down the back straightaway, trying to find any of the runs that they can make. Going down into 3 and 4, and the 2 machine going to get clear of the 19 of Berube, but Berube right to the rear bumper gets into him, and the 2 through the grass on the front stretch.
Yeah, and that can happen, man. That's exactly what happened Sunday in the Cup race, Trevor. Guy gets loose coming up off the corner. He's trying to control it. You're accelerating out, and you have to make a decision. Do I lift and maybe forfeit 2 or 3 positions myself, or do I just try to get to his bumper and hope he doesn't wreck, and we both get out of this clean? But it's just one of those things that happens. They get aero upset, and bye-bye car, bye-bye truck. So we see the 2 recover, get back up on the track as we go back, and we see Dominic Hughes and Trevor Keith wrecking through the grass here.
More calamity out of turn number 4, the 39 through the grass. No caution as he's technically off the racing line, but we do have one truck stopped on the infield grass. We'll see if he gets it turned around, if that's going to bring out a caution as he gets it going, rolling slowly. Green stays out on track, but more the controversy out of turn number 4, I would say, there is we saw the 19 or the 15 and the 39 make contact there out of 4.
Yeah, and we go back up here. Looks like the battle for fifth, or I'm sorry, for sixth, heating up again, Trevor, with the two guys I was talking about right before we went green, James Loveland, Michael Bennett. James Loveland coming from his 30th starting position to get up here into sixth place. He wants to, he wants to get up here and win. There's nobody probably in all of Racing Revolution that loves short tracks quite the way that James Loveland loves short tracks.
Yeah, one of those guys that really enjoys it. The short track racing is he's still battling with Michael Bennett, and we'll see if we can get a replay pulled up of the chaos that we saw at a turn number 4 here as we get one pulled up back for you. And this is going to be Trevor Keith in the 15, and then the 39 of Dominic Hughes as they exit turn number 4. And you see there the 39 just bounces off the outside wall a little bit there, Justice, and sends him down into Trevor Keith, who really just an innocent bystander and all that.
Yeah, it looked like the 39 probably got the 3 wide high call sometime early there in 3 and 4 when the 84 peeked his nose up there. Tried to give him respect on the run off the corner, and then once he realized, hey, the 84 backed out of it, tried to go up, track all the way to the wall, just tracked a little too far. As we look like a battle for second, heating up here between Quentin Stewart and Michael Reed.
Yeah, Stewart looking to the inside of the 91 of Michael Reed as they exit turn number 4, coming to about 7 laps to go here before we conclude stage 1, or the one and only stage of the night. And not able to get the pass done there is Reed able to hold that momentum on that outside and defend that second place position. But all the way back here in 5th and 6th, this is where the battling's been going on. It's Devin Hudgens, Michael Bennett, James Loveland, Schaefer, Al Likens, all right here on top of one another, battling for 6th on back, Justice. And this really hasn't stopped. And Loveland hasn't been able to make up that ground on that inside line quite yet.
No, it looks like maybe the track's rubbering in a little bit. Now this outside lane is starting to grip up. These guys are trying to go up there. Michael Bennett got a little bit of help from Devin Hudgens on the push, that arrow push to get past James Loveland. Now we'll see, can he also clear Loveland himself? Is Christopher Schaefer also trying to get involved here? Al Likens. This battle from basically 7th through 10th may be the closest one to the stage, as we may have a real battle on our hands here. With some guys even now 11th and 12th getting involved here.
Yeah, this is what you'll love to see. And some other drivers in this: Peyton Presley in the 7 machine, Travis Gilbert in the 90 or in the 22, Michael Call in the 99, all right here on top of one another, and not too far behind them. Justice, the man who took the 4 fresh tires, Clint Cox in the 03 machine, is working his way up through the field as he's closing in on this battle as it still rages on up front, it rages on up there, but up front. Here goes Alex Berube. He's looking for 3rd through 3 and 4 as he gets to the inside of the 6 of Quentin Stewart.
Yeah, Alex Berube in concrete tracks, Trevor. We see it in the Cup Series. He's really good on these things. So we get another caution here, Trevor, and we will get a restart before the stage. As this is 10 to go to the stage, they're going to restart this thing probably with about 5 to go. We'll see what we can get. This will be a hell of a battle.
It's the 99 of Michael Call. We just talked about him up in there racing for that battle from about 15th all the way up to 6th. And we'll get a quick look at what happened to that 99 machine. Looks like through 3 and 4 here just gets a little tight and then snaps
hit
loose
the
on
apron.
Him. Ooh, and big contact, more trucks involved.
And guess who was involved, Trevor?
Clint Cox in the 03. I saw him on there on the outside
Clint
wall.
Cox in the 03. That's the hardest part about going to the back of this pack. Is you can just be minding your own business and you get caught up in something. And this was a mistake I've seen Michael Call make a couple laps in a row that really kind of kept him from probably driving up to about 7th. He had hit that apron in 1 and 2 once, in 3 and 4. This was the second time I saw him do it. Yeah, big contact there for Clint Cox with the rear end of the 99 of Michael Call, and then with the door of the 9 of Dylan Picklesheimer. Just wonder how much that's going to hurt him getting back to the front. When you're trying to play the strategy game, kind of can get bit sometimes. We see Wayne Lowe appears to be our only guy in the top 10 right here to bite on go ahead and getting tires now.
Not a bad call. Flip the stage, get you some track position. If it's going to be a late restart and a short run to it, why not try it out? And a handful of trucks behind them also coming down pit road to get some damage fixed and repairs. A couple other trucks involved in that: Caleb Gilbert and then Jake Williams in the 51 and the 54 respectively, also caught up in that wreck there with Picklesheimer and Clint Cox and Michael call. But Justice, I don't hate the call from Wayne Lowe. It's now going to be a balance of saving those tires on this little short run of the stage break.
Yeah, this is kind of again some strategy you see teams try to execute when you watch on Saturdays and Sundays. Is hey, we got 5 laps of the stage. Would the win help us more, or is the stage points going to benefit us more? If he thinks win is more helpful to his chances later on down the road, then you go get the tires. Hey, for 5 laps, run half to 3/4 of a second off pace. Take it easy on them. Just get them up to the perfect temperature. Let them cool cycle back down to a good range, and then fire off somewhere up toward the front of the field on the next restart.
Yeah, we'll see what Wayne elects to do. But I'm thinking that you're right on. He's just going to run in the back, get some heat into him, get him cycled around, and then be ready to go for the next restart. Quick rundown of the top 10: Frank Hughes, Michael Reed, Quentin Stewart, Alex Berube, Devin Hudgens, Michael Bennett, James Loveland, Chris Schaefer, Peyton Presley, and Al Likens going to be the top 10, I believe, once we get all sorted around here for this restart.
Yeah, and we're gonna see how it cycles once they choose Trevor. That may change up just a little bit, but we do see the 03 of Clint Cox back in 12th opted not to go in and see where his repairs are at. Feels like the truck is good enough. So we'll see. We'll know pretty quickly how bad is the damage because it's going to decide how good he runs in traffic here, Trevor. I don't know. It's one of those things with iRacing. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. Um, a lot of the damage that he may have incurred is just where he hit the wall on the right side, flat paneled those right side pieces of sheet metal. But you never know. He may get in the pack and be perfectly fine. As we've seen a lot of trucks be really racy so far. You see a guy like Trevor Keith in the 15 who was involved in the first wreck just a few minutes ago was running all the way back up in the top 10. So, maybe damage is not hurting him quite as bad as it used to.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I was taking a look at his truck, and the left front definitely crinkled up over the tire there, and going to be interesting to see how that works out for him, and if it's going to hurt him that bad, and how much of it he's going to be able to get fixed there. As you see the drivers taking the choose cone here for what's going to be the final restart before we get to our stage break at lap 45, with Frank Hughes, Michael Reed, Quentin Stewart, and Alex Berube going to be the top 4, leading us back to this green flag. And Justice, the 19, he was on the move there toward the end of that. Now with the restart, he's not going to be about a second and a half, 2 seconds behind the leaders. He's got a chance here, I think, to maybe go up here and steal this stage win.
Yeah, 100%. As far as aggressive guys in this top 5, he is definitely one of them. Again, a guy I myself love racing around. You learn to really respect him. He just wants to go out there and win, Trevor. And he's going to race you hard. He expects you to race him hard, right? Same thing I say about Travis Gilbert, some of these other guys. But, yeah, I think he's got the aggression level dialed up to 10 here. Definitely wants to go get this stage win and carry some points down the road.
Yeah, definitely one of those guys that will race you hard. You can crash with him one week and then race door to door with him for 10 laps the next week and not have an issue with him. So interested to see what he's going to do. Pace car is off. Frank Hughes is going to lead us back to the green flag for the final restart here in stage 1. So we get ready to hit the Geico restart zone here. Green flag is out and Hughes on the loud pedal. Berube right to the rear bumper of the 91 of Michael Reed as they head down through the front stretch into turn number 1. The 6, Quentin Stewart, not with a great launch for himself, but I got to say Frank Hughes timed that restart perfectly there, Justice. Got a good jump on the field.
Yeah, I got a great jump. And again, for Alex's sake, as we see him getting a big run here, going to push the 91 of Michael Reed down the back straight. Alex is going to learn this around a guy like Frank Hughes, Clint Cox, some of these guys that run at the front. If he can get that timed right, he's going to get a great start from that second row as we see him continue to make a run. Michael Bennett getting a big run from 5th on Quentin Stewart, making a look here into 1 and 2.
As teammates to the 19 there of Berube. Bennett trying to find a way around the 6 machine. Just lost a little bit of momentum out of turn number 2. Behind them, it was almost 3 wide between James Loveland and Travis Gilbert. And I believe the 40 of Al Likens, but they sorted that out. That's going to be a 2-wide battle now instead of 3. Almost a little bit of contact between Clint Cox and the 7 of Peyton Presley as we watch this battle as they exit turn number 4.
Yeah, he does make just a little bit of contact there, kind of slings him down to the bottom. But yeah, these guys are heating up, and you see the 84 of Devin Hudgens to the outside of the 14 of Michael Bennett. He's trying to make a run. Berube with a massive run off of 2 here. As second and third have closed in on the leader of Frank Hughes. This is going to be a great battle to the finish of the stage here, Trevor.
Coming to lap 44, 2 laps to go in the stage. Hughes got a little bit of tightness out of turn number 2, lost the momentum. There goes the 91 of Reed to his inside, 3 wide as they make contact coming across the line with Alex Berube there getting a little bit of damage from that and losing a little bit of momentum. That's going to allow the 6 of Quentin Stewart to his outside. And just like that, Berube goes from a potential chance to win the stage justice to maybe only getting second or third out of it.
Yeah, that killed all of Alex's momentum there in the 19, man. He wanted that, and he may be able to rebuild a run here. He's got about a lap and a half to do it. The question is, does he have the tire to do it? Is he's going to drive past, and they wreck again here. This is tough, but we're going to stay green as they go off the racing surface, and we see the 84 dive back underneath the 6, and he's going for second place. Clint Cox putting Peyton Presley in a tough position as well back here for 4th and 5th.
Again, just solo or 2 cars spin onto the grass there and no caution out. That's going to give the stage win over to the 91 of Michael Reed, unless the 84 can get Devin Hudgens going to get up there and catch him as they exit turn number 4. It's going to be Michael Reed getting the stage win. Devin Hudgens gets up to second place as he gets by the 6 of Quentin Stewart, and there is the caution for the stage break. But I got to say, just stage break winner, Michael Reed, tough break. I think it has to go to the 19 of Alex Berube. He had 2 chances to get to the lead, and both times contact was made. As we get a replay pulled up there of what happened, that's kind of a post-incident between Frank Hughes and Alex Berube there on the front straightaway. And I gotta say, it's kind of odd though that's not an automatic caution where those 2 trucks were sitting.
Yeah, that's incredible to me. We saw iRacing throw a really quick one last week for a car that spun out of the pack and way off the racetrack. And these guys are basically 1 truck width off the racetrack and nothing gets called. So, and continued wrecking behind that, apparently, according to our producer here. We're going to get that pulled up as well. And that's just tough, man. Tough break. We've seen this time and time again from Alex. Oh, it looks like the 22 of Travis Gilbert and the 56 of James Loveland also got tangled up here. On corner exit as Travis just kind of sneaks up there. And to be quite honest, that's the netcode gods working against them there, Trevor.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. If you're the 22 and the 56, those 2 had really fast trucks. I think Travis is going to be okay. James Loveland going to be a little bit worse for wear as he's going to have some damage. And I believe the 40 of Al Lyken's another one involved in that. As it was 2 separate incidents there at turn number 4. And one kind of an on-track thing is I think the 6 of Stewart thought he was going to be clear of Berube and take that run with him, gets into him. And then the joys of racing online and against people from across the country is sometimes the internet connections don't see eye to eye and they think trucks are where they're not. And you have fun little contacts like that made.
Yeah, as we'll get a little rundown of the top 10 in the stage there. Michael Reed with the stage win, Devin Hudgens second, Quentin Stewart third, Michael Bennett fourth, Clint Cox fifth, Peyton Presley 6th, Jackson McGeorge in 7th, Travis Gilbert 8th, Al Likens 9th, and Caleb Gilbert with some damage there early bounces back and earns 1 stage point with the 10th place finish there at the stage.
Yeah, a couple things that I'm taking from that. The damage, I guess, depending on where you have it at and how severe it is, isn't that bad. Clint Cox being able to get up there, Travis or Caleb Gilbert as well. Devin Hudgens, I mean, I saw him early in the race get into the outside wall. So maybe pancaking the right side isn't as detrimental to these trucks as it has been in the past. Clint Cox still getting a lot of repairs done on that 03 machine as he still sits on pit road. But you see Caleb Gilbert, Trevor Keith electing not to pit along with Michael Call, Dylan Picklesheimer, Waylon Turner, Tay McDonald, and Wayne Lowe. I think are the handful of drivers that elected to stay out that pitted on that previous caution there, Justice.
Yeah, guys that said, hey, I'm going to go get my tires and run them easy. And like I said, Caleb Gilbert snuck in. And I think, according to Rob, we are going to bring in the 15 truck of Trevor Keith. Trevor Keith, welcome to the booth. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, just trying to survive, it looks like.
Involved in that early wreck, I think lap 2 there. You look like you kind of bounced back, got it back into the top 10, then unlucky break. His positioning went. Looks like you pitted right there before the stage, perhaps. Took your first set of tires, maybe.
Oh yeah.
So staying out here, what's the game plan from here, buddy?
Try to stay up here. I've been in the back a lot, and it's not fun back there. Let me tell you, it's hectic and wild. People banging and bumping off each other constantly. So we're gonna try to keep her up here and not go through the grass again. That's probably smart.
Yeah, I think the grass isn't advantageous, Trevor, there for grip and speed. But how's the damage been affecting the truck? We've seen you involved in those 2 incidents. We've seen a couple of other drivers be involved in some incidents and be able to rebound. So what's it been like working with a damaged race truck?
So actually, I had no damage from all of that. No damage. Nothing to repair at least. So it feels fine. Surprisingly so.
Man, did Nick set this up with damage off here, TK?
I don't know. I don't know. We had to ask Nick on that one because I was like, "There's no damage on this thing. It's crazy." Because I thought about pitting after the lap 2 wreck, and I missed it, and I wasn't paying attention and didn't realize it was open when I got there. And so I was like, "I'll just stay out, see how it is," and no damage. I had nothing to fix there.
Well, we're going to let you get back on down there, buddy. We do appreciate you repping the brand on the hood, on the truck.
Yeah.
Revo Racing Network here. Get a good battle. Go out there, get yourself a win, big dog.
We'll see what we can do with Caleb here.
15, Justice, Trevor Keith, feeling confident, got no damage. Surprisingly, the iRacing gods looking down upon that 15 machine, at least early on in this race, as he was able to survive at least 2 known incidents with no damage.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. You know, the crazy part, Trevor, we talked about how big track position would be, qualifying out front. However, only 4 of our top 10 in qualifying earned stage points there. So a lot of it being a war of attrition and strategy, these guys making their way back forward as we get ready to come back to the green here with Caleb Gilbert taking the lead.
And full of differing pit strategies, the top 8 electing to stay out from the previous caution. Caleb Gilbert with a great restart, though, over the rest of the field as he jumps out to about a 3 truck length advantage as they head down into turn number 1. Trevor Keith trying to get away that second place position from the 99 of Michael Call as those 2 stay side by side for a second out of turn number 2, followed by the 9 machine, Justice of Dylan Picklesheimer, who we saw in an earlier incident. He's bounced back well with this reverse pit strategy up there in 4th.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you who else right behind him, the 30 truck. Oh, it looks like Michael Call way off pace there. Maybe got a little tight. He's going to get passed by Dylan Picklesheimer. We have a big pile up back here. Looks like involving the 22 of Travis Gilbert. The 19 rolling through the grass again. Let's hope that Alex wasn't involved in that, Trevor. Fingers crossed he didn't get that unlucky twice.
I saw the 84 of Devin Hudgens sideways out of turn number 4. And then a contact made. Al Likens involved that I saw. He had no front bumper. A handful of other trucks, but here we go with the replay. Just out of turn number 4, you see the wiggle there from the 84 of Hudgens, and around he goes, and just nowhere for the field to go. See the 7 of Peyton Presley loses a front bumper, and calamity down the front straightaway.
So it looked like to me, Trevor, from that view, if we could go on board with the 14, maybe from a rear chase view here. The 14 of Michael Bennett looked like he was reacting to what was going on with Devin, and he kind of made contact with someone else here that started the second part of this. As these guys racing hard, see both lose it. He's trying to avoid. No, he didn't make contact. Just looked awkward from that view. The truck behind him, my apologies, spun off track, and we get a big pile up back behind. But that's what can happen. You're back here in the pack, and Devin Hudgens has been up front. Michael Bennett's been up front. The nose of these trucks react totally different when you've got air in front of you that's being disturbed. And it looks like both of those guys maybe got caught a little bit off guard by what was going on there.
Yeah, and I think for sure Peyton Presley, hard contact. 22 of Travis Gilbert makes hard contact in that. The 40 of Al Likens also caught up pretty hard in this wreck as we get an onboard. We're working on getting an onboard shot of the 7 of Peyton Presley, and here it is. You can see it coming through turn number 4. And Justice, this is the worst part. When you're still stacked up like this and the driver in front of you has issues, that's the last thing you want to see. There's nowhere for Peyton to go.
Yeah, you're just rolling up here and you're like, please, whatever you do, just flip into the catch fence. Let me miss you somehow. Yeah, you're just praying, knowing there's no chance you're missing him if he's still there. Nowhere for Peyton to go. If Peyton goes left, he probably wrecks another gaggle of 3 or 4 trucks. So, guys just trying to get wherever the wrecked trucks aren't at that point. And you just got to make some things happen. But yeah, you talk about guys bouncing back. Trevor Keith still hanging on a second place. Picklesheimer and Call involved in some things there. The 30 of Waylon Turner was involved in the wreck that took out the 95 of Mike Peters. He took pretty hard wall contact, and here he is running in 5th. That opposite pit strategy kind of working in their favor. Wayne Lowe, Tay McDonald, and then our stage winner, Michael Reed, has made it back up to 8th place here. How quickly can he get to the front and be right back where he wants to be?
That's gonna be interesting to see how quickly he's gonna be able to work his way up there. I mean, he's got about 10 laps the advantage on tires over or I'm sorry, not 10 laps. It's gonna be about 7 laps the advantage on tires over the guys around him. So we'll see how that plays out for him. Drivers calling it a night though: Matthew Robinson, Jacob Serkovich, Chris Stamper, Mike Peters, James Loveland, Jack Clemens going to be drivers out of the race. That's from 38th all the way to 33rd. Chris Nail's still out there. I think Jackson McGeorge might also be done. Peyton Presley has called it a night after the contact that we just saw he get involved in. So just as a handful of drivers already out of this race, that leaves us with, I believe, 27 trucks out on the lead lap. I believe about 28 trucks out there on track, with Eddie Donahue being the 28th truck, 1 lap down in the 21 machine as we get the choose cone underway.
Yeah, we got the choose cone happening here. I'm going to tell you another guy, see down pit road, maybe getting some repairs, being back there involved again. The 03 of Clint Cox goes back to why give up that kind of track position at this point in the race when you can probably just stay out and keep cycling somewhere between 8th and 1st instead of cycling back to 30th, where it seems like a lot of the wrecks are originating somewhere in the middle of the pack there. So just kind of involved in the wrong place, wrong time situations here. We'll see if he can work his way back to the front. As he and Frank Hughes have been out front for 21 laps apiece here tonight. Then you have Caleb Gilbert leading 8 and Michael Reed leading 4. Those are our 4 guys that have led laps here tonight. Interested to see, can someone else get up here, battle, get their name in the hat for a few laps led?
I have to wait and see. Right now, working our way through 3 and 4, getting ready for the pace car to pull off. Caleb Gilbert going to lead us back to that green flag with Trevor Keith, Dylan Picklesheimer, Michael Call, Waylon Turner, the top 5. As we get ready to go here, Justice on lap 55, coming to lap 56 here for the Racing Revolution Coastal Financial Truck Series for the Racing for Freedom 200. It's a little bit of a stack up already before we even get to the restart zone, as trucks having issues. It was the 6 machine of Quentin Stewart that had issues that caused a checkup on that outside line, but up front, it's going to be the 54 of Caleb Gilbert again with a great restart as they head down into turn number 1.
Yeah, that can happen, Trevor, when you got people trying to time up a restart. You get guys starting to stack up, compressing, coming back and forth. Similar to what you see in the draft at Daytona, except at a little less speed, which can sometimes be a little more dangerous, as we see the top 5. It was single file out for a minute, and then Wayne Lowe makes his dive on Dylan Picklesheimer. Wayne Lowe probably on maybe the best tires, best truck, not really being involved in anything so far. Wayne going to try to make his way back to the front here. As we see the 91 of Michael Reed also dive on Dylan Picklesheimer, Trevor.
Yeah, Wayne Lowe, the lone gunner there that before the stage break came down pit road from the top 10, at least was running 5th, came down pit road, took his tires, and now trying to run that strategy out. Right behind him, though, it's going to be Michael Reed, the stage winner, trying to get back up there and get around these guys and get back up to the front. But right now, we're going to have to wait in line. Michael Bennett, though, with a little bit of an issue out of turn number 4, almost gets into the outside wall and makes contact with the 29 of Tay McDonald. They all keep it straight as they head back into turn number 1.
Yeah, they're going to head down in here, and this will be 2x2 probably for another lap and a half or so. They're going to have to sort this out as we see it get Tay a little loose as he's coming off the corner here. Michael Bennett's going to clear him, but Tay still under attack as the 6 of Quentin Stewart puts himself out there. He's going to try to also clear that 29 truck.
And Quentin Stewart, the cause of the checkup that we saw on the restart there. Not quite sure what happened to that 6 machine, but caused the check up there on that outside line. Lost a couple positions, now trying to fight to get those back. And right now the 26 machine, Kyle Diaz, the man we haven't talked about all night long, trying to work his way to the inside of Tay McDonald, who looks like he's starting to struggle here a little bit early on in this run, maybe saving a little bit of tire. And right behind Diaz, a driver that had a great run going for him last week until he was caught up in a couple of incidents, the 65 of John Fike.
Yeah, that's two guys that have really been pretty quiet in this race. Kyle Diaz having to pick his way back from the mid-30s starting position. Looks like he started in 34th, but has made his way up to 11th here, trying to make this pass on Tay for 10th as we go to Waylon Turner and Quentin Stewart battling here. And the 14 of Michael Bennett appears to have recovered a little bit there as we flash forward to Wayne Lowe trying to get around that 99 of Michael Call, stalking him a little bit, but it's going to allow the 91 of Michael Reed to get back by him here, or at least to that right rear. Now, Michael Reed does have about 4 or 5 lap fresher tires. I don't think that's anything more than a heat cycle, Trevor, just the way that run ended to the stage, so shouldn't be any big deal, but we see Michael Reed really making it work, trying to get up here around Wayne.
You're using that outside line to his advantage. You saw it right there. It gets clear of the 34 machine through the middle of 3 and 4, and now with the exit going to try to run down the 99 of Michael Call, and it's kind of at that point now, Justice, where we saw the inside line early on in this race kind of be the line that you wanted to be in, and now that outside line is really kind of the passing line as Waylon Turner starts, I think his fall back through the field is, I think the combination of the old tires and the damage really starting to come into effect for that 30 machine. But I got to say, with how hard he hit the outside wall when he made contact with the 95 machine, for him to still be up there, Justice, running that well, kind of a testament to how quick he is.
Yeah, as you see Kyle Diaz and John Fike, those two guys we're talking about, make a little contact. We also see the 19 making his way back forward. I think I'm going to call him Alex Concrete Berube from now on, Trevor, man. He is good on these tracks, just plucking his way back forward, probably on a little tire advantage of some of these guys, but nonetheless, we're going to fast forward it up here. This is where Alex is hoping to be momentarily, is we have a battle for third between Michael Reed and Michael Call, and it looks like a pretty easy clear for that 91 truck. Everything looks easy for him right now. He's making these guys look like they're running late models while he's running one of these trucks, Trevor.
Yeah, just continually, methodically picking drivers off one at a time, and already down the back straightaway looking to get a run here on the 15 of Trevor Keith as they head down into 3 and 4 all over the rear bumper. And Trevor Keith's just going to go, you know what? You got the fresher tires. I'm going to let you go run up there and try to run down that 54 machine of Caleb Gilbert. But Trevor Keith, a little bit of thought about the crossover, gets right to the rear bumper, gives him a little bit of a shove. I think a smart move there from Trevor Keith, going to let that 91 try to run up there and run down Caleb Gilbert and just follow him up there.
Yeah, if you're the 15 to Trevor Keith there, you can very easily let yourself get involved trying to run these crossovers, and then you're battling. You lose 3 or 4 spots as he's under attack here. He may still end up losing the positions. But, well, right now what he wants to see is right there what happened in that mirror. 34 got to the side of that 99. Now they're going to have to battle. Gives him just a minute to settle in, get back in line, let those guys battle behind you, let that 91 try to go hawk down Caleb Gilbert in hopes that you're saving enough tire to get back up there and get to him. With what Michael Reed's doing right now, Trevor, when you're on that kind of tire advantage, 2 things. You don't want to burn them up because you want to get there so quick. You're on the tire advantage, be patient, you're going to get by them. But you also don't want to run so long that you let the tires even out. And that's kind of the delicate balance that you're facing if you're that 91 truck right now.
So looking at the lap times, the last couple of laps, Caleb Gilbert was fastest to lap. Prior to that last lap, by just a little bit this time around, it was a 30.161 from Caleb Gilbert, a 30.052 from Michael Reed. So closing the gap in slightly, but not as quickly as I think maybe he would in 6th caution. Actually, I'm sorry, it was a little bit of a bug there. I thought we had another caution out. That's my bad. But as we work lap 68 here, Justice starting to reel him in slowly but surely, and with that little bit of that 6-lap tire advantage.
Yeah, just working at him a little bit at a time. I'm going to tell you, another guy, again, that 15 truck settled back in, started running some equivalent times here with the leader. As we're looking right now at Michael Call in the 6th position. These top 6 have kind of settled out. Got to go back there and try to figure out how am I going to make my run, how am I going to get where I'm going. Right now, we have another car or truck. Actually, we're going to go on board with the 91, Michael Reed. And, Trevor, we've talked about it a little bit. When you're looking at that rear spoiler of the truck in front of you, it's hard not to overdrive it because you just know you've got an advantage on him. You're plucking away at him. Like the last lap, he was just over 2/10 faster than Caleb Gilbert. But at some point, you're going to get right in this wake, and you have to decide, can I make something different work than what Caleb's doing? Because you can't just run right behind him and actually pass him.
What's the old adage? Catching him's one thing, passing him's another. We'll see how much the dirty air plays into this. But Reed definitely looking like he's got the fastest truck in the field currently, as he's on the freshest tires, but he's caught him now to down about one truck length, about a tenth of a second, and still just kind of in that wake. But he's going to look to the high side, get some clean air on the nose of that 91, go for the crossover. You can just see the difference in corner speed through the middle of the corner. So there's a little bit of an internet blink there, but to the inside of Caleb Gilbert, battle for the lead down the front straightaway. And Justice, I think this is going to be over pretty quickly when they get down here into turn one.
Yeah, I don't think this will be a battle at all, as we see him clear pretty easily. Caleb going to maybe try to cross him over a little bit, but Caleb's a pretty smart guy. Going to just stay in the wake. Don't cost yourself any more time than anybody behind you, as we see time starting to really fall off here. Guys running 30.4s and 5s, and Michael Reed continuing to run 30.3s. So, yeah, fastest truck in the field, probably on perhaps the best tires, but you still have to go out there and execute. Wonder if Caleb Gilbert's not saving something as he continues to just be on that back bumper, Trevor.
About a tenth difference between those two that time by, but looking at the times through the field, Michael Reed, Alex Berube, John Fike, looks like the three fastest trucks, maybe Travis Gilbert as well, the four fastest trucks that I kind of see glancing through my timing and scoring that last time by. So the guys on the freshest tires running a little bit quicker, but only by about a tenth of the guys that pitted before the stage break. So I think that's kind of a indicative of, if you get a short run, I think these guys kind of feel comfortable on those tires. Justice, if we have a late race caution and say you come in a couple of pit stops earlier than maybe the guys behind you.
Yeah, it shows how quickly that advantage really leveled out, right, Trevor? You know, you've got guys on 5-lap older tires, 10-lap older tires, but at this point you're all within a tenth or so of each other, and you just know that you kind of leveled. What can I do to make something happen? You got to try to cool them back off. It's hard to do as you're trying to get around here and pass people and maneuver traffic, but you know, I'm looking at guys like John Fike last lap about a tenth quicker than most of the guys around him, but Michael Reed about half a tenth slower than Caleb Gilbert there. So yeah, just really leveled the times out, and once you're at this point, now it's about who maintains that the longest, because the tires go from about 100% to 90%. At the same rate, they go from 90% to 70%. So you have to manage that part of it really well to make any kind of a long, important run.
To be interesting to see, and this is going to be the longest green flag run we've seen from these guys here tonight. And should be seeing green flag pit stops in the next handful of laps for the guys that pit before the stage break. They should be coming down pit road, I'd say, in the next 5 laps or so for their green flag pit services. It's a quick little update on a couple of drivers. Frank Hughes all the way down in 15th position. Really hasn't been able to bounce back in that 61 machine after we saw him go through the grass down the front straightaway. Also down there in 22nd, it's going to be the 03 of Clint Cox. Justice, with that damage, that 03 machine hasn't been the same as we watched the battle with Trevor Keith, Quentin Stewart, and Alex Berube going into turn number 3.
Yeah, these boys are heating it up here, and as these boys heat it up and they get ready to clear each other, we're going to go ahead and go to an ad break here, Trevor, and thank our wonderful sponsors. Give us a little break on the mics.
That we will. We'll roll a quick ad break, and we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Monday Night Racing here on the Revo Racing Network for the Racing Revolution Coastal Financial Truck Series. Here tonight from Nashville Super Speedway for the Racing for Freedom 200. My name is Trevor Earhart. With me in the booth, Justice Murphy, and running the production, Rob Rader. As Justice, we work the longest green flag run of the night. Green flag pit stops right around the corner for a handful of drivers. We continue to watch this battle between Michael Reed and Caleb Gilbert, as these two haven't really separated since Michael Reed took the lead about 10 laps ago.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you guys, I'm watching through the field here, Trevor. The 19 of Alex Berube involved in a couple of incidents that we've seen. He's battling back for third here. Right now, wishing that they had about 10% more fuel in that truck. I think he knows he's got a really good long-run truck here. Another guy that I've been watching throughout the break is John Fike in the 65 truck. He's up to 7th place. He's been averaging a 10th to 2/10 quicker than most of the field here. So he really saved something there to try to have a long-run speed as we see him getting ready to work over the 15 of Trevor Keith. He's going to make the dive. I think he's going to clear him probably pretty easily in the 1 and 2, Trevor.
Race for the lead, though, as that battle heats up back there. It's a battle for the lead. Caleb Gilbert to the inside of Michael Reed as he exit turn number 2, and Gilbert trying to get clear. And I got to say, this is a little bit surprising considering the differing of pit strategies. Is Gilbert one of the drivers that pitted before the stage break, but saving those tires well? Is Reed going to struggle here a little bit out of turn number 4 on the outside line as they battle back to the line?
Yeah, I told you my concern with Michael Reed was that he had burned him up trying to get through the field too quick there. Also called Caleb Gilbert pretty smart, pretty race savvy, knows what he's doing, knew he had a little bit of a tire disadvantage, was willing to not battle him as hard, hoping he could maybe battle on the back end here. As we see it sort out a little bit again, Caleb showing some of that veteran race savvy, letting that 91 back in, knowing, hey, pit stops are coming up. I think I can beat him in the pit stops. I can beat him off pit road, and then I can definitely beat him to the end of the race. So just sometimes, the better part of valor is knowing when to give up and just get back in line there, Trevor.
I think it's got to be a good feeling there if you're Caleb Gilbert. You got back to the inside. You battled with him for a handful of laps. I think just Michael Reed, having that outside line to your advantage, kind of the easier spot to defend. You can pinch the driver down to the inside, but if you're Caleb Gilbert, filling you with a handful of confidence as we see green flag pit stops. Caleb Gilbert going to be one of the first drivers in onto pit road from the lead positions, with Alex Berube following him. Wayne Lowe, Tay McDonald also down pit road. As here we go, Justice, green flag pit stops for the first time this season.
Yeah, a couple of guys I know are real happy there's no barrels at the end of this pit road. Caleb Gilbert and Alex Berube. Two guys, I'd say that because I know they're going to go back and watch this back, and I want to hear the jokes come back at me. But, yeah, these guys getting down pit road again, same stress as last week, Trevor. You go down here, this being a 4-tire stop, it is even more important that you get in this box clean because every second or half second you have to sit there and adjust your truck. Really kills you on rolling time, on pace on track. You really need this to be as perfect as you can get it.
One driver with pit road problems, Frank Hughes, with a pit road penalty of some description as he brought that 61 machine down pit road. So it's going to be at least 40-second hold for Frank, depending on what the penalty is, as we wait for the race leader, the 91 of Michael Reed, to come down pit road. Thankfully, though, for him, Justice, he's going to have about a 5-6 lap advantage on fuel from the guys who have already made their pit stops. A lot of those guys, the guys from that made those pit stops, were guys from before the stage break, making their pit stops. So that leaves Michael Reed, John Fike, Dustin Adams, Nick Owls, Grant Thorpe, Chris Schaefer, Scott Negus, Devin Hudgens, Waylon Turner down pit road. Devin Hudgens is going to be the last truck that hasn't made a pit stop yet, down there in 8th position.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you the biggest problem with Michael Reed staying out there for maybe 2 extra laps is his tires had indeed leveled out with the rest of the field. So it's not like his advantage was gaining him any time towards the end of that run. So you lose a ton of time to guys on track. Excuse me. Same thing happening here to John Fike. John Fike was one of the fastest trucks on track, but the longer you stay out here, the more you give up. So he's got to hope that he can get in, get a perfect pit stop when it's his time to come down. As we see guys continue to come down and finish out this cycle here, Trevor.
Yeah, a couple more trucks down pit road that time by with Michael Reed, Dominic Hughes. See if John Fike elects to come down pit road. He stays out for another lap along with Dustin Adams, Nick Alves, Grant Thorpe. Michael Bennett looked pretty slow there on the apron into turn number 1. Don't know if the 14 has an issue. We'll see the 91 off of pit road after getting his service done. We'll see where that puts him compared to this 54 machine of Caleb Gilbert, who I believe has already gone by down the back straightaway. So a huge advantage for that 54. As you can see the 91 blending there just as with the 34 of Wayne Lowe.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about all that time he lost. He allowed a whole nother truck in Wayne Lowe to get between them. As I would like to go back and see, Trevor, we do have John Fike still out there leading, but Michael Bennett, who was one of our top 10 trucks, was in the grass there coming off into turn 1 as we were watching the 91 exit pit road. Would love to go back and see what happens when we get a chance at some point, because that's very unfortunate to what was a very good run for the 14 truck. Hopefully he gets a chance to bounce back from this. As we get it pulled up, yeah, I don't really know what happened. He maybe lost it off of 4 cold tires for the first time in a while, and you can really have a struggle there when you're tracking out towards that wall for the first time. Kind of impressed that didn't cause a caution with trucks so spread out there, Trevor.
Yeah, I was impressive. I saw him slow as we watched the 91 come off the pit road, and I didn't know if it looked slow to me on camera, but that explains it all. And I think you're spot on there with that call cold tires. That is turn number 4. We saw it early on in the race, and right there with Michael Bennett, I think the same issue came across that 14 machine, which is a real shame running inside the top 10 for a majority of this race. Really going to hurt that 14 machine unless there's maybe a late race caution. But still waiting on a handful of drivers to come down pit road. John Fike all the way down to the Devin Hudgens in 7th, so top 7 still yet to make their pit stops. And I'm kind of worried here, just about the 65. We know he has the long run speed. I just think at this point you're giving up too much time at this point in the race.
Yeah, he's playing the game, trying to hope for a caution here. Don't blame him. It's kind of been that kind of race tonight. So you're really hoping that these guys make a mistake, somebody else messes up. You've basically got that bet from 1st through 7th. As we saw Caleb Gilbert unlap himself as what we consider to be basically the leader once the cycle ends. And when I'm looking at it, to be honest, Trevor, this is what we're talking about when we talk about staying out in the half second and tenths of a second you're losing to guys on fresh tires. Michael Reed went from leading by about 5/10 over Caleb Gilbert. He is now 3.2 seconds behind Caleb Gilbert back there in traffic. So that's the difference when you've let your tires level out. As we see a couple more guys out of that top 7 come down pit road here. I believe the rest of them will probably finish the cycle in the next 1 or 2 laps, Trevor. They can't run much further, I don't believe, on fuel.
It's going to be really tight to keep going. I think a couple of drivers can go a little bit further. It's going to be Grant Thorpe, Chris Schaefer, Scott Negus, Devin Hudgens, as they were all on pit road around lap 52, 53. It's going to go a handful of more laps. Dustin Adams going to bring that 25 machine down pit road. He was one of the other drivers that pitted on that lap 47 pit stop, and get their service done. But another driver, Justice, that kind of, I think, had a slow pit stop, the 19 of Alex Berube. We saw him up there, got all the way up to 4th, but looking at him right now, he's going to be behind Michael Call, Trevor Keith, Travis Gilbert, Tay McDonald, Quentin Stewart, and Michael Picklesheimer, and Dylan Picklesheimer. That's a lot of track position given up for that 19 machine on that pit cycle.
Yeah, 19 had to have had something go wrong there in the pits there, whether he's a little off-angled. Like I said, you have to perfectly get in and out of this box at this point to make anything happen. Now, the other part of this, if it stays green, which once you get 1 green flag pit stop, makes it significantly more likely you get a 2nd green flag pit stop because the field gets so spread out here. You're going to get a 2nd opportunity for somebody else to make that same mistake you did. So you can't get too down in the dumps here. You have to go out, continue to make good laps, do what you know how to do, try to pass trucks, and then just see where the cards fall at that point. If the person in front of you goes out there and doesn't make any mistakes, hats off to him. He did everything right, and that's just how that goes sometimes.
Yeah, just a tough break for Alex Berube, who looked like he had the long run speed to maybe go up there and challenge for a win here tonight. We'll have to see how it's going to play out for him, but right now Caleb Gilbert going to assume the race lead. Michael Reed in second, Wayne Lowe, Quentin Stewart going to be third and fourth. Dylan Picklesheimer going to run inside the top 5. You see Wayne Lowe there working through a little bit of lap traffic. Not quite sure which truck that was that he got by, but slowly working his way up through the field, or working his way inside the top 3 there, Justice. And not too far off the 91 machine is Wayne Lowe. As we jump further on back here, Trevor Keith, I believe, there with the 22 machine of Travis Gilbert as they fight for 7th and 8th position.
Yeah, these guys just battling it out back here. You got Picklesheimer in the 9, Tay McDonald in the 29. These guys battling for 5th and 6th. But that lead battle, I was talking about it when they were in traffic. Michael Reed was about 3 1/4 seconds off of Caleb Gilbert. He's now cut that down to about 3/4 of a second. So running it, I would suspect, about as hard as he did last time, Trevor. And we saw how hard it was for him to maintain the lead on Caleb once he got out there about 10 laps in front of him. Now, if he catches him here, we'll see if Caleb kicks it into a different gear. But I think you've got to be smart here. You basically know, hey, I've got to make another pit stop. Don't do anything dumb here to give myself bad track position.
Yeah, I mean, 3-lap difference in tires, and I think that we might be seeing a little bit of the same situation. I think Caleb was saving tires, knowing that this is going to be a long run, and Reed wanted to get up here and go battle with him. So we'll see if it plays out the same, or what's going to happen is Chris Schaefer gets by Wayne Lowe. He's on the freshest of tires as he just came off of pit road. But right now, Reed really chasing down this 54 machine as we go into 3 and 4. Going to look to the high side and just go for a late arc here, Justice, and try to get a run on him out of turn number 4.
Yeah, we see Caleb. I'm looking at times here, Trevor, and he's running about 3 to 4 tenths slower than Michael Reed per lap. That is simply not a 3-lap tire difference. That's Caleb trying to save that right front, not overheat it. I would expect this is going to be a battle, but I would also expect that Caleb is likely going to just let him by if it gets too heated. Knowing that he's going to have a tire advantage later, even though his tires are 3 laps older. Again, giving Caleb a lot of props. I've seen this play out too many times with Caleb Gilbert. Very smart, very savvy here. The top 10 right now, and I'm looking at guys that can get up here and make up the big difference in time. It's a guy like Alex Berube. He can get on pit road next time. He could maybe take 2 tires, make something interesting happen as we see these two go side by side in the 3.
And just like you said, Caleb Gilbert just going to give it up and not fight that 91 machine. I think that's the perfect move. I think Caleb realizes that he's got a good chance to potentially win this race and doesn't feel like he needs to race that hard right now at this point in it, and saving those tires is probably going to be the best call from the 50 from that 54 machine. As you see the 23 there, Chris Schaefer trying to get by and unlap himself. Here as the 91 now starts to gap the field. It's going to put Caleb back to second, Wayne Lowe, and further on down, Alex Berube back into 8th position, Justice. So he lost, I think, 4 positions in total in that pit stop. John Fike, though, even with that late pit stop, all the way back up to 9th in that 65 machine, as you can see them working through traffic right there in a big wiggle. I believe that was from the 99 of Michael Call. So he gets up and almost into the outside wall there at turn number 4.
Yeah, the way that cycled out, if I'm John Fike here, I'm probably playing the game of I'm going to run these tires as hard as I can, knowing that I've got about, he's got 9 lap fresher tires than most of the field in front of him, somewhere between 6 and 9. He can run them pretty hard here, let them level off, and then as these other guys start pitting, you just pit with them. Try to make a better pit stop and then not lose your advantage here, and then take your run to the end. You know you have a good truck on a run. You take that and see what can happen. As we flash forward up here, we got Tay McDonald and Travis Gilbert side by side for 6th and 7th. These are former teammates, actually maybe current teammates still, Trevor. Battling hard. They know how to race each other. They're going to make something happen. But, these guys really, really fighting hard here. Looks like Tay fighting that handling a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised to see Travis up there. He was involved in that wreck out of turn number 4, the big wreck that took out Peyton Presley and a couple of other drivers. So I'm surprised that truck has as much pace as it does. I think maybe a little bit of a spectator bug. It looked like it maybe had more damage on our end than it actually had out there for him in sim, but gets passed right there by his teammate, the 29 of Sam McDonald, who's slowly working his way up through the field. But I got to say though, Justice Travis Gilbert up 31 spots from where that 22 machine started this race. So an impressive run from him nonetheless. As we move up a little bit further forward is Trevor Keith going to war here with Quentin Stewart for 4th position.
Yeah, the last handful of laps, Trevor, we have seen Trevor Keith be the fastest truck on track, aside from John Fike in that 65 truck. But John Fike on 9-lap newer tires than Trevor Keith. So maybe Trevor Keith waited just a little bit, bided his time, started running a little hard, maybe thinking along those same lines that I said. Let me run it hard. Maybe he splits the end in half here, pits somewhere a little bit earlier than everybody else, try to play a different strategy game as we see John Fike getting involved in this battle with Travis Gilbert and Tate McDonald.
3 wide down the back straightaway we go. Tate McDonald, Travis Gilbert, John Fike, and just like that, the 3 wide action's over with as Fike on those newer tires gets 2 for 1 as they get through 3 and 4, so move Fike all the way up. I believe that's going to put him up to the 6th position as that 65 machine on the charge on those fresh tires, trying to run down our leaders and kind of get himself onto the same pit cycle. Is right behind them. That battling there, you see the 19 of Alex Berube, who's lost a position, Justice. And I just got to say, I don't know if he's got a little bit of damage or picked up some damage in that pit cycle, but that 19 machine definitely off this run from where he was at the end of the last run.
Yeah, just having raced around Alex long enough, knowing how he runs in the helmet there, he can get a little hot in the helmet. And so maybe a little bit of frustration, running a little hard here, kind of running it out. But he's 4/10 quicker than the guys in front of him right now. So making up time on those 2 guys in front of him and then the 3 guys from 3rd through 5th. The other thing we see right now is I think Caleb Gilbert may be trying to manage a gap here to the cars behind or trucks behind. Running pretty slow. I maybe am a little more concerned about that 54 truck than I was originally.
I think maybe saving a little bit of fuel could be the 54 machine. Not quite sure, but definitely off the pace compared to what everybody was around him there for a little bit. But a couple drivers want to give a shout out to the 21 or the 26 Kyle Diaz, up 21 spots from where he started running in 13th position. Jake Williams in the 51 up 16 spots down there in 15th position. And then Nick Alves, I gotta give a shout out to Nick. I mean, he was involved in that first wreck on lap 2. We thought his night was over with. I mean, he's down 8 spots, Justice, from where he started, but running in 16th along with Grant Thorpe. Both of them heavily involved in that first caution. Great rebounds for them as they've been able to get that damage fixed and stay out there.
Yeah, as I'm looking through the field here, Trevor, saving fuel at this point doesn't really make any sense for anybody. There's not anybody that's going to be able to make it. As we see the 03 truck starting the pit cycle early, this could make it very interesting. Because once one guy pits, you kind of can get the whole field pitting. As we see the 3 truck kind of off pace here, we're going to get a replay and see what happened to him. Is he maybe trying to go to pit road, trying to come off a pit road? Loses it there on the access road into the grass. For that slide, hey, as a Ryan Blaney fan, I'm all too familiar with that exact thing, Trevor.
That's unfortunate to see, but I see a lot of drivers indicating pitting on this time by. And here comes Caleb Gilbert, Wayne Lowe down pit road for what should be their final pit stops of the night, along with Kevin Orlando, Frank Hughes, Eddie Donahue, Jackson McGeorge, all down pit road as well. And then I believe Alex Berube, Jake Williams. So Justice, here it is, the money stop as they call it in racing, the final pit stop of the final green flag pit stop, at least of the night.
Yeah, very interested in this strategy, Trevor. I would have thought maybe if you were splitting the run dead in half, but this is not in half for anybody because most of them have run about 26 to 28 laps, and you're looking at basically 35 to the end here. So not sure what's going on here, but we see our leader, Michael Reed, pitting now as well. And so John Fike will reclaim the lead again. And again, how hard if you're John Fike? Maybe you go out here and run it hard for about 3, 4, 5 laps. Come in, get your set of tires, and hey, maybe you cycle straight back into that lead that you're in right now.
Yeah, I think if you're Fike, you can only run a minimum of about 5 laps here is what I would feel comfortable with before he makes a pit stop. As I think that the difference in tires is going to be pretty substantial. I mean, just looking at the his best lap compared to his last lap, about a second and about 1 second off between his best lap and last lap. So, you figure he's going to give that up to these guys who already made these pit stops. So I wouldn't feel too comfortable, Justice, if he stays out, any more than that 5 lap mark.
Yeah, you don't want to lose too much time because you're running 30.5s. These guys on new tires are going to come out and run 29.9s, 29.8s, something like that. So you can't afford to lose, 6, 8 tenths every lap for too long. But you stay out here, maybe you catch a quick caution as guys are trying to do this in a hurry. Some guys probably having to change their strategy on the fly once they saw guys start pitting, knowing you just can't beat it that much of a disadvantage. So, yeah, we'll see what happens, but I 100% agree. 4 to 5 laps is the magic number of how long you can absolutely wait. Beyond that, you're just taking a huge risk.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out. A couple drivers indicated down pit road. I believe the 77 of Grant Thorpe going to be coming down this time by. We'll see who else elects to join him. But looking at the standings on how this is going to shake out once everybody makes their final pit stop should be, I think, Michael Reed, Caleb Gilbert, Wayne Lowe should be the way it cycles out. But we'll have to wait and see once we get to that point. Nobody down pit road this time. But actually, here comes the 22, Travis Gilbert. He's going to be one of the leaders to bring his truck down pit road, as it's going to leave us with John Fike, Trevor Keith, Waylon Turner, Nick Alves, Grant Thorpe, Chris Schaefer, Scott Negus, Michael Bennett, and Devin Hudgens yet to make their final pit stops.
Yeah, this really, really shaking out hard here. We see Fike again pushing this limit. This is about lap 4 since those guys have pitted. And I'm looking at tires. Yeah, Caleb Gilbert's run 4 laps. Michael Reed has run 3 laps. So much further than this, and you're really pushing the limit of what you can do. But maybe if you're Fike, with the tire advantage you had there, maybe you go down here and get just right sides on that 65 machine. These leaders, Michael Reed and Caleb Gilbert have to unlap themselves as they pass you when you're going down pit road. So even if you come out just say a half a track ahead, with say 28, 27 to go.
Oh, and there's a caution.
Never mind, Trevor. Full reset. This is exactly what you want.
This
if you're one of those guys that stayed out.
This is what John Fike needed. I think that actually allows the 91 of Michael Reed. He just got by Devin Hudgens before that caution came out. So that'll give the 91 the lucky dog. So he'll have to start at the tail end of the line. The problem is the tail end of the line for him is only going to be about 8 trucks, I believe, as we get to look back and see what caused this caution.
Oh no, he'll start behind the waiver rounds. He'll start about 30th. As we're on board here, looks like, oh my gosh. It looks like the 15 trying to pit there, and the 27 of Kevin Orlando, maybe not completely aware of the situation, or that the 15 was pitting and just kind of runs him over there. Again, those green flag pit stop mistakes that can happen. But yeah, this puts John Fike in the driver's seat now. Probably the fastest of the guys that had not pitted yet. And all these guys, except for the 91, have to take the wave around. They're going to start at the back of the field, and then the 91 is going to start behind them. So with about 22 to go when we go back green, Trevor, without a caution or without something, happening, John Fike's going to be in a great position to go out here and win this race.
Yeah, he's going to be in a great spot. And looking at kind of who he's going to be around, I mean, Nick Alves, Waylon Turner, Grant Thorpe, Trevor Keith, Michael Bennett. I mean, all drivers that have had issues tonight. I think Michael Bennett, the only one with a clean truck. But as I get that thought over with, I think we're going to bring up the driver of the 65 machine, John Fike. It's Trevor and Justice up in the booth, man. Played that pit strategy there pretty perfectly. How many more laps were you thinking about staying out there before that caution came out?
I was honestly going to go for about 5 or 6 more than I was going to bring it down.
Yeah, that's we were up here debating it. How long could you run and lose a little time to those guys? But I think here, good position set up. I assume a 4-tire stop there, John. I think you're probably the fastest truck of the guys that benefited from that. How do you feel about your chances going out there and closing it out for us?
This track has been pretty good to me over the last couple of races here, and throughout my whole career on iRacing, Nashville Super Speedway has been pretty good. So it's probably my second most confident track, and you get a front row seat to what's about to happen.
Well, John, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun last handful of laps here. We wish you luck, and we'll hope we talk to you here at the end of the race.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
It's a man of many words, Justice, but sounding very confident in the words that he has spoken.
Yeah, very confident. That's a thing that comes across with John. I've chatted with John quite a bit. He runs on Wednesday nights in the Cup Series with us, has for a while. As we see the 91 of Michael Reed down pit road. This is interesting. As the lucky dog, you do get this benefit. You can come around and go ahead and strap new tires on it if you so wish. You're going to be starting at the end of the line regardless. So, yeah, it's probably not a bad call to get whatever you have left that's fresh, and just hope that it goes green the rest of the way. I think everybody's probably pretty much in the same position with tires at this point. We're coming, I believe, here to the choose, as we're going to see where these, mainly these front 7 are going to be your guys. Front 8, they're going to be your most important guys here, where their choosing is going to be big.
As the choose cone's underway, is give us a quick second just to thank everybody here at the Racing Revolution Coastal Financial Truck Series for coming out. And if you want more great racing action, tune in Thursday night to the TTR Short Track Series as they get their last race into the round of 2 at Irwindale this Thursday night. And if you want more Racing Revolution action, check out the Cup Series Wednesday night under the V Speed banner on V Speed at YouTube for their race at Texas Motor Speedway. And Justice, I know the 3 of us up here in the booth are looking forward to that race, and then looking forward to being back in the booth on Thursday night as we get this restart ready.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see Caleb Gilbert taking this long stroll to the back, Trevor. I don't know if you saw it, but yeah, he knows, it looks like, that he squared up the box, and he goes ahead and takes his EOL. We saw at least one more driver from our angle that it looked like maybe hit it as well. So interested to see what happens here. He's going to give up a ton of track position. But yeah, it looks like even after the waiver rounds, a lot of these guys starting pretty close up to the front. So that 91 of Michael Reed starting way up here, he may have a chance to get involved very quickly here.
We'll have to wait and see what happens. Pace car is down. John Fike, Waylon Turner going to lead us back to the green flag with Nick Alves, Trevor Keith, Grant Thorpe, Michael Bennett, Chris Schaefer, Scott Negus, Wayne Lowe, and Michael Reed, the top 10. And just like that, John Fike on the loud pedal trying to get a great restart. He's got the 2 damaged trucks of Nick Alves. Waylon Turner going to try to hold everybody up behind him. You see Trevor Keith trying to give the hurry up to that 30 machine as they head down into turn number 1.
Oh, and Trevor Keith getting a little whack here. And you got 3 trucks around, and this is going to be a melee, Trevor. I know we said we probably wouldn't see many wrecks like Daytona, but this is the second one tonight. We've seen a lot of trucks involved. This one looks like it involves probably 15 to 20 trucks getting some kind of involvement here in that one.
And I'll tell you who that benefits, the 91 of Michael Reed, as he was able to get through all that. As we'll take a look back, it was 3, I think, 2 solo spins and then 1 a little assisted spin as Michael Bennett I saw going around. Trevor Keith went around, and Waylon Turner, I think it was the 3 trucks that all kind of got sideways there, ended turn number 1, and this is going to give us a great look of it as we head down into turn number 1. We saw a little bit of contact between the 15 and the 30, but you see just there, Trevor Keith gets a loose, Justice, Waylon Turner gets loose all on his own, and then there's just nowhere to go as the track gets blocked up, and everybody just kind of stacks into it.
That's a brutal one there, Trevor. Yeah, it looked like Trevor Keith in the 15 misanticipated the 30's lift point. We've seen a few times tonight, and then kind of tried to avoid him, turn underneath him, and truck just got loose fighting him, trying to make that move, especially if he's on cold tires here, or colder tires that have kind of cycled through. So, yeah, the big beneficiary, that 91 truck, as we are on board here with Tay McDonald for a view of what happened in front of him.
I mean, the C's part, and then the C's close just like that as he gets clipped by 1 truck, gets into the back of Trevor Keith. It looked like he was going to make it through it there for a second. He had a pretty good clearing in front of him, and then just kind of it all closes up at those speeds. But we're going to reset, Justice, another restart here. 23 laps to go, and this benefits Michael Call, Alex Berube, Wayne Lowe as they get closer to the front. They're going to restart. They're currently running 4th and 5th and 6th, and this restart just brings them ever so closer to John Fike.
Yeah, as much as Michael Call would like for it to benefit him, Trevor, he is back there in 24th. Michael
I'm
Reed,
sorry,
on the
Michael
other
Reed.
hand, yeah, Michael Reed up here, definitely in 4th place. I had to give one spot back from where he was scored originally due to where he was at the time of caution. Alex Berube lurking in 5th. Again, Alex Concrete Berube. He's going to get out here. He's going to make it tough on these boys, especially now that he's back up here in the battle. I can promise you that helmet's cooled off a little bit. We were talking earlier, and I was talking about how he runs hot under there. Right now, it's cooled off because he can see that leader out of his windshield, thinking he can go get himself a win here at Nashville tonight.
Here's the thing that is I think we're going to just bring up Alex Berube in the 19 machine. Alex, is Trevor and Justice up in the booth, man? You're restarting here, I believe, in 5th. You've had a eventful night, to say the least. How are you feeling here at the end of this thing?
Well, now that I don't have any cold tires, I'm sorry for my voice. I feel a little bit sick. Now that I don't have any cold tires on me right now, I feel kind of good. But yeah, I have an eventful night. I went through the grass, some kind of crazy road. But no, I never gave up. I knew I had the speed. So this caution is fortunate and unfortunate. Well, not I won the one before, but it's unfortunate for a lot of guys like me. But at the same time, we're getting better results because of it. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, thinking you have the speed here to get up there and get with John Fike, at least I do, is I've given you a new nickname tonight, Alex. So if you go back and watch the broadcast, you have to tell me how you like it. But I know these concrete tracks tend to agree with your style. I know you're at a little bit of a tire disadvantage, but at this point, the cooling cycles on them, you may be able to make up a difference here. Do you think you have anything to go up there and battle with this 91 and this 65 truck in front of you?
I think I do. If there's another caution, I'm going to pit and see what happens after that. But I think I have the speed to get in. It's just we have to see if like they restart correctly and all that. We'll see how it goes. It's not only on me; it's on those around me that needs to go fast. But I need to be faster.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to get you back down there to the boys in the performance chat. Good luck, and hopefully we're up here talking to you at the end of these 20 laps.
Thank you, guys.
20 lap shootout, Justice. He sounds like he's got something for him, and maybe an extra set of tires laying down pit road for the 19 machine. Said if we got a caution, he might come down pit road and see what happens. Maybe maybe alluding to an extra set in the pit box.
Yeah, I think he needs it to go green for about 7-8 laps to make these other guys make a decision too, or if they don't have any left, make it where he's got such an advantage that he can just blow by him. So interested to see if he gets the 20-lap shootout or if he can come down, get those fresh 4 good years and make a difference. But I think even without him, man, as good as he's been all night, he's going to have a chance as the pace car pulls off, Trevor.
Pace car is off. John Fike, Chris Schaefer, Nick Alves, and then Michael Reed going to lead us back to the green flag as the top 4. And there goes the 65 of John Fike with another great restart. So he gets clear of the 23. Chris Schaefer now is going to be up to Reed and Berube to see how they're going to get by the 23 and the 24 is almost 3 wide. They're going to be 3 wide going into 1 and 2. A pinch from the 23 gets the 24 out of shape. 23 slides up in front of the 91. Everybody keeps it straight. Berube scrapes by. And Justice, we stay green down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Alex was talking about it depends on these guys around me, what they do, how crazy they get. As we see, it looks like the 15 of Trevor Keith hit the apron there, cause a little more of a stack up, and there's a whole lot of 3, 4, 5 wide. These guys are all over the place right now, and this track is not built for that. As we see a wreck, Dylan Picklesheimer into the right rear of Grant Thorpe, and we're going to stay green, Trevor, as everybody rolling straight.
That stays green. Everybody was able to stay straight in that melee in turn number 1. Trevor Keith, Dylan Picklesheimer, Grant Thorpe all involved in that one as they all came together. But up front, it's allowed John Fike and all of that chaos of the restart to jump out to about a 1.1 second lead over Michael Reed. Wayne Lowe had a little bit of a look to the inside of that 91 machine. And then now Alex Berube has fallen into the 4th place spot. And these have been about the 4 fastest trucks over the last little bit of this run. And here goes Alex Berube looking for second down the back straightaway.
Oh man, this is very interesting. We may have a yellow here. Trevor is Grant Thorpe is limping around with it looks like a blown engine. or mostly blown engine into 1 and 2 as the leaders are coming up on him. Just not been able to regain speed. But yeah, we've got a great battle perhaps shaping up here. As this 1.1 second lead is definitely not safe with 17 to go. Fike is going to have to manage himself and just how excited he gets on that loud pedal. Especially Wayne Lowe is not out of it. 7/10 of a second behind Michael Reed. As we see Alex actually saying, hey, I'm not out of it either. Just because I was involved a little bit there and got out of shape, I'm coming back. You guys just talked to me, and I want to prove it.
Yeah, I called that the battle for second. I'm sorry, that was the battle for third between Berube and Wayne Lowe, and they've been going at it now for the last couple of laps. Fight continuing to slightly ease away from the 91 of Michael Reed, as those two have been running quick lap times, 29.3s the last couple of laps between those two. And Justice, that worries me just to hear a little bit is if you go a little bit too hard too quickly, you could risk burning up that tire. And with how long this run is, you don't want to put yourself in that bad situation as you see drivers fanning out behind this battle that we were watching for third and fourth. It's going to be back here with Caleb Gilbert, Tay McDonald, Nick Alves, as Alves tries to salvage a relatively good finish for that damaged truck. And Jake Williams now sneaking up inside the top 10 in that 51 machine, up 22 spots from where he started. Justice looking for more as that battle continues through 3 and 4.
Yeah, these guys are having a heck of a battle for who's going to move up the furthest in the field. Travis Gilbert plus 28, Jake Williams plus 22, Kyle Diaz in 5th plus 29. Trevor having a heck of a day for himself. The leader himself being plus 17. We've seen a lot of big movers tonight forward, which means we've had a lot of big movers backwards. So, kind of one of those things that happens in big auto racing, as they say. As we were on board watching this 29 truck kind of make some laps here in traffic. And, man, this is a great racetrack when everything goes right. These trucks race it really well. We have seen Michael Reed cut about a 10th off of John Fike. Like you were saying, Trevor, how steep is this fall off about to be? That's going to be my biggest concern. Alex and Wayne in the 34 and the 19 back there were running like 29.7s while these guys up front were running 29.3s. Can they reel them back in? It's 12 laps. It's going to be a tough task, but we're starting to see that fall off really take effect, especially for those front two right now.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with those front two and how that's going to play out. But I'm just looking at our top 10. I mean, plus 17. Then you have another one that's plus 29, plus 16, plus 12, plus 22, plus 28. I mean, even just outside the top 10, Chris Schaefer and Dustin Adams up 15 spots respectively for themselves. I mean, it's just kind of been a race of attrition. If you were able to survive and stay clean, able to gain a lot of spots as we're on board with the 91 of Michael Reed and just that rear bumper of the 65 machine getting closer and closer as that time by 2/10 quicker for the 91 over that 65.
Yeah, if he gets much closer, he's not going to need the glasses to read the license plate, Trevor. As he is creeping ever so slightly forward, it's down to about 7/10 of a second here. And again, how's he managing this? This time around, whereas when he was hunting Caleb down, this time around, if you pass that first place car, he doesn't have 10 laps to rebuild a run, get tires cooled back off, and get back by you. As we see times level off a little bit on that last lap, Trevor, John Fike only about a 1/2 slower. So we'll see. Maybe that wake is starting to affect him as he's getting closer, but he's trying to reel him in, man. And this is a very disciplined and hard part of the race to run.
Yeah, this is the hardest part when you're down to this part of the race. This little laps to go. In that dirty air, you're trying everything you can to get that truck to turn, to grip, to continue to build runs, and taking a little bit of an unorthodox line, I feel like, through 1 and 2, but still continuing to close that time by. The gap continues to shrink just a little bit, now down to about 7/10 of a second, and we got a caution, and this changes everything with 9 laps to go.
This completely changes it. If you are in the top, if you're on the lead lap, there's 17 cars on the lead lap. If you're in the top 10, you want so badly to come down and get 4 fresh good years. If they're in your pit box, you want them. I would say top 8 are probably safe bet. If there's 4 of them in the pit box, they're going to go get all 4. Probably 9th to 13th, 14th, you're going to go take 2 and see if you can get some track position. If I'm anything beyond that, I'm going to stay out and I'm going to see if you can get back past me. I'm going to make you work real hard on my old tires and see if I can hold something up on you.
Ninth caution of the night, 8 laps to go, and this is the envious position that you don't want to be in as the race leader. Top 3 stay out. Alex Berube down pit road, and a couple more follow him, as I believe Nick Alves, Travis Gilbert, Chris Schaefer, Devin Hudgens, Scott Negus, Dylan Picklesheimer going to be the drivers down pit road, and it looks like that should leave us, I believe, with about 13 drivers, Justice, that stayed out there on this caution.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't see a little bit of a split strategy there. Guys doing something different. Only having 8 trucks, it appears really go in there and pit and try to do something. It's going to make it tough. However, if you're depending on the fact that the field has done a little bit of wrecking tonight, if you're, say, Alex, Nick, one of those guys, you come out in 10th, which it looks like Alex is going to come, or Nick's going to come out 10th, Travis Gilbert 12th, Alex Berube, or Travis Gilbert 11th, Alex Berube 12th. Those guys are really looking for, hey, let me get gain 3 or 4 positions and then go yellow and then let's have a green, white checkered. And I'm going to see how aggressive I can be to go win this thing.
I mean, looking at the lap times that John and Michael were running, you're talking 30.1s, 30 flats. Compared to 4 fresh tires is going to be that of about a 29.3. You figure with a heat cycle, John and Michael could probably run 29.7s. As we work on getting a replay to what brought out the 9th caution of the night, I think it was a little bit of contact back in the field between the 61 of Hughes and the 03, maybe if Clint Cox got into it down the back straightaway, Justice. But I'm kind of worried if you're those guys up front like Fike, will those fresh tires be able to get to you in what's going to be probably a 4-lap shootout?
Yeah, you're probably gonna have about a 4-lap shootout. I mean, they're having to make up. Probably if you're in 10th, if we're being honest, on a restart jump, you're gonna have to make up about 1.9 to 2.1 seconds, Trevor, in a perfect scenario. So that's tough. Even making up, say, 6/10 a lap, you may get close, but it's going to be tough to actually convert that into a pass. As you're going to make up about 2.4 seconds when you need to make up 2.1, but we all know that last 0.3 is very hard to overcome.
That it is. And with all those pit stops, though, it's shaking up the running order, at least in the back half of the top 10, is that it's now moved Kyle Diaz up to 5th position, with Tay McDonald, Jake Williams, Dustin Adams, Clint Cox, and Nick Alves going to be the top 10, or the rest of the bottom half of the top 10 there, with Travis Gilbert, Alex Berube, Chris Schaefer, Michael Bennett, Devin Hudgens, Scott Negus, Dylan Picklesheimer, and Michael Call going to be the 18 trucks on the lead lap here tonight for this final, I shouldn't say final restart. That'd be, I think, a little bit of a commentator's curse if I went ahead and called that the final restart. But what's going to be toward the end of the race, one of the restarts here, Justice, is next caution will lead to a green-white checkered attempts, but choose cone underway for potentially the last restart of the night.
Yeah, these boys getting ready to sort this thing out. And I'm going to tell you what, Trevor, for the sake of these fresh tires, I hope it's the last restart. Just because I think that's their best chance of working forward. Like I said, you probably would love a quick caution, but if we're being honest, you pass 3 or 4 people, you may end up being the caution. So these fresh tires probably in all reality want it to just go green and let me see if I can make my magic work here. If you're John Fike, you want to get a great launch here. You would like to clear that 91 truck probably by half a second into turn 1 and then make him have to work hard to pass you over the course of 4 laps. Hopefully you've got these things cooled off, gripped back up, but we're going to see these guys are definitely going to make this a tough, fun run to the end.
Fresh tires on the inside of row number 5. That's going to be Nick Alves in the 24 machine on the freshest of tires. Pace car is off. John Fike going to lead us back to the green flag, looking for a great jump over the 91 of Michael Reed. And as we creep into the restart zone here for the restart, and it is a great launch from the 65 of John Fike as he gets at least a 3 truck length advantage. They're fanning out already 3 wide as they head into turn number 1 as fresh tires look up to make the gap up in the back of the field, but it's John Fike with about a 2 truck length lead out of turn number 2.
Yeah, the 91 tried hard to anticipate that, and it's tough when you're that inside truck. You talk about switching lanes there, then the 65 of John Fike doing something a leader hasn't done all night, taking the outside lane, knowing that he had a little bit of an advantage coming off of 4. As we hear trucks in the back dragging the wall a little bit, kind of one of those things that happens. But yeah, we've got a great run. The 91 makes a deep dive there in the 1 and 2, but so does the 54 Caleb Gilbert, and they managed to stay side by side for second, something that John Fike loves to see in that mirror.
Yeah, it's what John Fike wants to see is that battle for second place. I believe it was Alex Berube that had a little bit of an issue further back in the field, is looking for fresh tires. I believe it's going to be the freshest of tires going to be on the 54 machine, or I'm sorry, it's going to be on the 22 of Travis Gilbert. But that battle for second still stays 2x2, and this is allowing John Fike Justice to run away. 2 laps to go. Fresh tires aren't going to get there. It's going to be a question of if we're going to get a late race caution as they work their way down the back straightaway looking for that white flag.
Yeah, John Fike wants so bad to see that white flag right now across that line. As second and third have kind of battled themselves out of this. You just have to go make 4 more clean corners, and that 65 truck looks like he is in control, and he gets the caution right before taking the white flag, Trevor.
Oh, the heartbreak for the 65 of John Fike is it's the 29 of of Tay McDonald. Looks like with the issues down the front straightaway, and the man who was looking for, I believe, just as what would have been his first Racing Revolution League win, has to wait and try again for a green-white checkered, and that's the last thing he wanted to see. As we get a look back here, Clint Cox, Tay McDonald, and Travis Gilbert. I think a little bit of teammate-on-teammate crime there as they exited turn number 4, and Justice, where that was at, you would have thought Fike was already across the line and had the white flag by where they were wrecking at.
When I tell you the finger on that caution button, it had to be hovering, son. I mean, John Fike, this is heartbreak central. If you were the 65 of John Fike, where this started, this was the quickest yellow perhaps that I've ever seen on iRacing. Is he's approaching, he's all the way to the restart zone here, Trevor. They're still not wrecking, and that's where it starts. I mean, 15 truck lengths from that from that start finish line, and that's one of those things. Heartbreak. You have to find a way to reset though under the helmet. Go out, get yourself another very good restart. Hope that Caleb, who looks like has assumed second place, Caleb's probably going to start beside you. You just have to hope you get a very good jump on him, and that you can draw the 91 to side by side with him, and they can go back to battling for second and third there. But again, you've got the clean air. You get the launch advantage. If you're John Fike, go take it. This is your chance to go, like you said, Trevor, get your first Racing Revolution win, stack some confidence, and make something happen.
Yeah, a driver that we've seen great growth in over the course of the seasons that Racing Revolution's been around. Looking forward to seeing what he can do here, and this would build a ton of confidence, not only for the truck series, but I think as well for his cup pace on Wednesdays. But for those of you that may not know how overtime works, we're going to have 2 attempts at a green-white checkered. We're going to get the green flag, then the white flag, and if we make it all the way to the end, the checkered flag. If we get a caution in between the green flag and the driver getting the white flag, we will restart and do it again. But on that second attempt, the next flag of any type ends the race, whether it be the white flag or the caution flag. So I think for these drivers, they're going to try to want to get it done in one attempt here, Justice, and it's all going to be about this restart. If Fike can get another great jump and get the 54 and the 91 battle in side by side, I think he's going to be in great shape because the fresh tires still mired all the way back there with the 22 of Travis Gilbert in 7th position. They didn't really go anywhere on that last restart.
Yeah, they didn't really get to move anywhere there, but that does move Travis Gilbert currently into the biggest mover of the race. Kind of a wild one for him. We've seen him involved in probably 4 or 5 things here, Trevor, and just continues to fight his way forward. Nick Alves is the next guy on fresh tires there in 9th, and then kind of everybody behind him. But yeah, fresh tires kind of mired there. It's going to be tough for them to make any kind of move. Again, this is going to be all about that 65 truck. Can you get that storybook ending? Can you close a chapter and go, hey, I've got this, now I'm going to make something of it? As we look right here at the choose. Let's see what he opts to do. He takes low this time, and Caleb Gilbert takes right behind him from that second place position. This is a very interesting choice, something that we haven't really talked about. When you're rolling into the restart zone, the first place and second place car scored by iRacing, Trevor, are the ones that see the speed limit into the box, right? That you have to maintain because of the choose. Michael Reed goes from third to outside of the front row. He will not see that. Although he knows what the speed limit is at pace, he does not know what he can get away with into that box because, well, frankly, he doesn't see all of the notifications he needs to see.
Yeah, it's a interesting call there by Caleb to go to the inside, and interesting call by John Fike. We saw him take the outside on the previous restart. This time electing to go to the inside. And we're going to have to wait and see. And if you're Reed, you cannot afford to jump this restart or have any issues like that. And if you're John Fike, you've gone a little bit early the last couple of restarts. Do you try to change up your timing here to throw everybody off? We're going to have to wait and see. Pace car getting ready to pull off. First attempt at a green-white checkered here for the Racing for Freedom 200 from Nashville Super Speedway for the Racing Revolution Coastal Financial Truck Series. As they get ready to come through the Geico restart zone, John Fike, Michael Reed going to lead us back to the green flag, and it was a much better restart from the 91 of Reed, but Fike still going to get clear. Caleb Gilbert not going to be there to challenge the 91 for second position, though, but they're going to be single file top three as they head down into turn number one with Reed giving chase.
Yeah, this is going to get very, very tight here for the lead as Michael Reed looks like he's got to run. John Fike with the block. Michael Reed trying to duck inside. We get a quick caution here, and these guys are going to get to re-rack it, start all over again, Trevor.
Final attempt for a green-white checkered next, which means on the next restart, the next flag will end the race, essentially. If we get a quick yellow, it's going to be over. And I think if you're John Fike, Justice, you get to catch your breath here a little bit because I don't think that restart went the way he wanted it to as we get to look back here and see what happened back in the field that brought out this caution.
Yeah, looks like a little ping-ponging contact there. Trevor, again, trucks three wide and kind of everybody everywhere. You get a little out of position, make contact, you start bouncing off other trucks. Just puts you in a tough spot here. Dylan Picklesheimer, and it looks like maybe Christopher Schaefer kind of initiating all of that chaos.
Yeah, just nowhere for those guys to go once they got sliding sideways, and not much you can really do about that. But gives us a chance to kind of catch our breath here, Justice, and get ready for the final attempt here at a green-white checkered. And you know, for Fike, I feel like didn't necessarily get the jump that he wanted, or Michael Reed, on the other hand, I think timed that thing really well on that restart to get as good of a run as he did out of turn number two.
Yeah, I think if you're Fike, you have to try to play the game a little differently, as it looks like Michael Reed has your roll into the box timed up, so you can't let him keep timing that up. Excuse me, at some point he's going to benefit from that. So, yeah, John Fike probably taking a little breather here, knowing he messed that up just a little bit. Gets a few laps to think about how he's going to do it differently. I'm sure he'll come up with a game plan. I know what my game plan is if I'm in this position, if I'm him, but I can't give away too many trade secrets here. I know a lot of our Wednesday night boys are either watching this or going to be watching this. So, but yeah, you can play this game and do this right. Should get a good launch, and with 2 to go, it's very tough for whoever's in second to make a move without just either wrecking you, moving you, making it a little bit dirtier than it needs to be.
It's going to be an exciting restart, to say the least, once we get there. But a quick second here to shout out Coastal Financial. I know we talked about them a little bit earlier on, but again, the main sponsor of the Racing Revolution Truck Series, and for all your financial needs or financial planning for the future, check out Coastal Financial at coastalfinancial.com and at Coastal Financial on Facebook. Again, shout out to them for being the primary sponsor of the season. And then Racing for Freedom for jumping on board and being the race sponsor for tonight for Nashville Super Speedway. Justice, it's been a great show. I believe 11 cautions tonight, 10 on track, 1 stage break caution for the evening. But we get ready for this final restart, man. I am excited to see how this one's going to end.
Yeah, excited to see what these boys can do, Trevor. As again, John Fike about 4 laps here under caution to think about where do I choose, how do I launch, what do I make happen here, how do I keep that 91 from getting that same good jump that he got last time. I'm interested to see, did the 91 learn maybe from Caleb here? Is he going to choose to go opposite of John Fike in that 65 machine as we see him carrying the Racing Revolution banner? A guy that loves racing with all the guys here, both here in the Truck Series and on Wednesday night in the Cup Series. Got our Revo logo on the bed of the truck there. So we sure appreciate him for carrying that for us. As we've seen a few guys here tonight, and we're getting ready to come to a crucial choose here, Trevor. It's the last one of the night.
Last choose of the night, last caution of the night, last restart of the night. Fike's going to go high, and that's going to put Michael Reed low. Caleb Gilbert going to now have the benefit of starting right behind the race leader. So this could be huge for the 65 of John Fike if he can get those two battling. And I'll tell you, another big break is going to be the 22 of Travis Gilbert, the man on the freshest set of tires. A lot of drivers going high. That's going to bring that 22 to be the second truck on that inside line, along with the 19 of Alex Berube. This could really shake things up on this restart.
Hey, what did they used to call him, Trevor? Where did he come from? How does the 19 keep coming back? Give that cat his 9th life, and he has a chance here to do something crazy. But yeah, that 22 truck getting to be the inside car in the second row. Aggressive pusher, going to be aggressive, willing to dive if he's got a chance on that 91 truck. So interested to see what happens here. I think Fike may be choosing this outside lane, knowing how good of a launch he got last time compared to the 91 in the same predicament. So this is going to be very, very fun here, Trevor.
Here we go. Get ready for it. Reach up. What they used to say, reach up, pull them belts tight one more time, because this is about to get wild. It's going to be John Fike, Michael Reed, Caleb Gilbert, Travis Gilbert, Kyle Diaz, and Alex Berube. Berube and Gilbert on the freshest of tires. Into the restart zone we go, creeping through there, and Fike on the loud pedal gets a great launch, and it's a little bit of a wheel spin launch from the 91 of Michael Reed, and this is going to put that 91 under pressure. He covers off the 54 of Caleb Gilbert, but here comes Caleb to the inside, and he's got the new tires right behind him, but so far clean, and caution's out. Race is over.
Race is over here, Trevor, and John Fike going to get his first win in Racing Revolution as a whole with this Truck Series win. Big win here for John Fike. Second place for Michael Reed. Third, Caleb Gilbert, Travis Gilbert, and Alex Forget Berube rounding out our top 5, Trevor. And this is about to be one very excited interview. I know it was a little less exciting when he got up here earlier, just kind of giving us his straightforward views, but I expect this to be a fun one.
I am looking forward to this interview, and we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to wait for John Fike to come around and start burning it down, and then we're going to do an instant interview with our race winner once he gets done with his celebratory burnout. So you're going to have us here for a couple more minutes as we work this caution to get to the checkered flag and get to watch our race winner burn it down. Then we'll step aside for a quick commercial break. Then we'll come back with our second place and third place finishers, along with a surprise guest of the race. So stay tuned for all the post-race action. But right now, it's going to be John Fike, Michael Reed, Caleb Gilbert, Travis Gilbert, Alex Berube, with Kyle Diaz, Nick Owls with a great recovery run up to 7th, Wayne Lowe, Dustin Adams, Clint Cox, the top 10 finishers here tonight, Justice, for a great race. But I tell you what, that 65 is going to be one happy driver. So he gets a little bit of a congratulatory bump from the 54 of Caleb Gilbert. So he brings it around to do his victory donuts. I cannot wait to talk to him.
Yeah, that's I'm really looking forward to this one, Trevor. Like I said, one of the good guys in the league, super supporter as a whole. So I've been excited for a lot of interviews, Trevor, but maybe not as excited as I am for this one.
It's always fun on Wednesday nights when you get pulled up for an interview, when you win or have a great run. I think in all of the interviews I've done and been a part of in broadcasting and racing, I think this is going to be the most fun one that we've been a part of. As John Fike burns it down in victory lane as the race winner here for the Racing for Freedom 200 at Nashville Super Speedway. And Justice, we're going to drag him up here in a minute as they get lined up for some race photos. You see Caleb Gilbert and Michael Reed pull up, and Fike backs up to get some nice complimentary photos for the social medias and all the good stuff. We get ready to talk to our race winner here. John Fike, it's Trevor and Justice up in the booth, man. You're burning it down, celebrating your first victory in Racing Revolution. A little bit anticlimactic there with the quick caution at the second green-white checkered, but man, you held on. How you feeling there?
Man, this place has always been special to me. First off, thanks to everybody in Element X Racing for letting me race with them here in the trucks, and it feels pretty dang good.
Man, 52 laps led. Kind of got to the right side of the strategy, but man, you had a fast truck all night. First win, as Trevor said, in Racing Revolution. I know how my emotions were with my first win, but I would kill to relive this. I hyped this up. This was going to be perhaps my favorite interview. So I want you to take us through what you were thinking on that last restart, and once you realized you were the winner, when did it hit you? You finally got it done, buddy.
I'll be honest with you. I've not raced much with the 91. However, I've raced a lot with Caleb and Wayne and those guys. But I didn't know what to expect with the 91. I did a little mind trickery. With a couple of those restarts starting on the outside. But right now it's just I'll calm down here in a second. But it's sweet right now.
Like we were excited for you up in the booth, and you did a great job. You played the pit strategy perfect tonight. There was, you got the caution when you needed it. Was able to stay up front, survive the late cautions there and the late race restarts. You're on to Charlotte next week for the Truck Series. How you feeling about next week to potentially go back to back?
Well, and these trucks, 1.5 mile tracks, are typically going to be my strong suit, especially in these trucks when you can play with the steering ratio and different things that you can in a cup car. I just feel stronger. And I'll be happy with the top 5, but let's bring it back to back.
Like we're excited to see what you're going to do next week. But before we let you go, of course, the floor is yours for any shout outs you want to give us.
Man, I got to thank one person in this league that is, took time and helped me, and that's Jeremy Burns. If it wasn't for Jeremy helping me out and getting me faster, especially after the incident that he and I first became friends, it's huge shout out to him. Huge shout out to Element X. Huge shout out to my mom. She's watching. She probably woke up half my hometown screaming. I probably woke up half the apartment complex screaming, and it's time to go shotgun a beer.
Well, John, enjoy it. We are excited for you. We're excited to see you next week at Charlotte, and congratulations again here tonight on the win.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you very much.
That's going to be our race winner, John Fike and Justice. That's a very excited man to get the win. Excited for next week. And final thoughts on our race winner before we step aside and get the rest of our interviews lined up.
Yeah, I was, like I said from the get there, I was pretty excited about that win as well. Long overdue, a guy that's worked really hard, been a big supporter, and can't wait to see him try to get it back to back at Charlotte next week. I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with for the remainder of the season.
I think it's going to be a big momentum booster for the 65 of John Fike. But for us, we're going to step aside for a quick second, get our other two top 3 finishers, Michael Reed and Caleb Gilbert, up in the booth, along with a surprise guest. And we will be right back here in a few minutes. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Racing Revolution Coastal Financial Truck Series here on the Revo Racing Network. We've got our second and third place finishers ready to go as we bring up the 91 machine of Michael Reed. Michael, it was a valiant effort there. The caution comes out on the second green, white checkered. There on the first and second as you were right there on the rear tailgate of John Fike. Come up one spot short, but how you feeling after that one?
Oh man, I had a good time out there. It was fun running on those slick tires, but just want to thank Coastal Financial and Racing for Freedom for allowing us to put on this show.
Yes, sir. Go out there, get a stage win tonight. That's big, for points later, second place finish. You look dominant for a good bit of the night there, leading 33 laps, the second most of the night. What more do you think you needed there to get that 91 truck into victory lane?
Yeah, the cautions they didn't really fall our way tonight. Really, just think we needed some green flag racing. Every time we'd get going on those green white checkers, the caution would come back out, and we didn't really get a chance to finish it off.
Well, I think it would have been a great battle with you and Fike there. That stayed green on the first green white checkered attempt. But Michael, we go to Charlotte next week, and after a great performance here tonight, the stage win and the second place finish, how are you feeling about next week at Charlotte?
I don't know. We're going to get in the sim and do some testing, and we'll see how it goes. I wasn't feeling great about this one, and we came out and had a pretty good performance. So I'm hoping we could do the same thing next week.
Michael, we're looking forward to it. And before we let you out of here tonight, any more shout outs you want to give us?
Yeah, I want to thank my cousin Jackson. He was out there racing with me tonight, and once he was out of it, he helped me out a ton. So thanks to him for helping me out there.
Well, Michael, again, congratulations on the second place finish, and we will see you next week at Charlotte.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
That was our second place finisher, Michael Reed. And now for our third place finisher, Caleb Gilbert. And Caleb, you had an eventful race. You come home third. How you feeling after that one?
Man, that was a blast. It started off a little rough. I can't qualify at that track, but in race pace, I'm always up there. I think I've finished second, and third there in my three runs. But that was so much cooler than any win I've ever had. Get to see Fike, working with him on strategy and whatnot. His interview does not do justice to the noises that I heard. So shout out to Fike. That was awesome, and I'm very happy to be able to help in the ways that I could.
Yeah, Caleb, it looked like you maybe burned up the tires a little bit on the green flag run there after the first green flag pit stop. At the end of the day, do you think that was a factor for you, or do you think it was just you were kind of content running second, third there, maybe as the one of the better trucks in the race, take the solid points day and move on?
Yeah, well, you guys probably couldn't catch it, but when I was leading on the green flag pit stops, I was managing, had like a 3 second gap. My internet decided to be, as we all know, not the best at times, and I had a big blink. And when I did, I was lapping a car on the inside, and I guess he just didn't know I was there. He's kind of swerving a little bit. We don't have to mention that. And then he actually came up. I got very heavy right side damage, and I lost probably like 3-4 tenths from that moment on. And then with the caution on 120, took the wave around, I was able to get it fixed. So I used up my tires pretty significantly going through the field. I think I was like 13th, ended up third. And then there at the end, I was telling Fike, like, I'm going to run side by side with this guy. And then he gets right at the white flag, and somehow the caution comes out. That was it for me. And I was like, I tried as much as I could. So we had a really good shot to win. But from where we were and the damage and everything, and then coming back, can't really ask for anything more.
Okay, it was a great recovery run through and through all the issues, and you get the third place. You go to Charlotte next week, and I know from racing you in other leagues and stuff that Charlotte's, you're pretty quick there at Charlotte. But how are you feeling about next week as a whole?
I love it. A big focus in these trucks in the first, 5-10 laps of every run is some people can run full throttle, maybe when they shouldn't. So it leads to, guys saving and whatnot. It leads to some accidents here and there. So really avoiding those early incidents like that, and then being able to save in the long run. That's what I'm going to be looking for, and pretty confident about Charlotte. I got to work on pit road entry because that's not my friend. Did make 2 successful green flag pit stops today, so pat myself on the back.
Hey, there are FYI, there are barrels at Charlotte for pit road entry.
We'll probably overcorrect like I did in the our first little practice run race there. I'll overcorrect into the inside wall if they're the barrels are not getting me. It'll be the inside wall.
Well, Caleb, we look forward to seeing what chaos you can cause for us under green flag pit stops next week at Charlotte. But before we let you get out of here, any shout outs you want to give us?
Shout out to you guys for doing this up here in the booth. I can't wait to watch the broadcast. I've watched a couple that y'all have done. You guys do an incredible job, especially for guys that haven't been doing it too crazy long. Everything is great, start to finish. All our sponsors, Butt Kicker, Coachman Financial, Chapman Environmental, everybody that goes into it does a great job. Shout out my team. Apparently, maybe Jeremy Burns and Mr. Israel are too good for us tonight. But it was cool having Fike in there and deciding what laps to pit on and should he run it long in case you get a caution, you get a caution. Shout out to that guy, man. It's all about Fike tonight.
Well, Caleb, again, congratulations on the third place finish, and we will see you next week at Charlotte.
Yes, sir. See y'all. Thank y'all.
And that was our third place finisher, Caleb Gilbert. And Justice, I got to say, 2 races in, we get a great race at Daytona for the inaugural race, a first time Racing Revolution winner, technically back-to-back weeks. Last week, Clint Cox. This week, John Fike. So 2 first-time winners in the Racing Revolution family and under the umbrella. And I can't think of a better way to kick off the season for these guys.
Yeah, you love to see this. These guys put on a competitive race, back-to-back weeks, the varying strategies tonight. I love this kind of stuff. When you get to see guys doing different things and how they operate under pressure. And we saw Fike go out there and attack it there in that 65 machine. And, you saw some other guys make big runs. Travis Gilbert plus 34, Kyle Diaz plus 28. These guys just trying to keep the nose clean, get up there and run, earn themselves a top 5 and a top 10 finish there respectively. So yeah, very excited to see kind of how this progresses as guys get more comfortable around each other. I do love just what we're seeing from these guys. So I expect this to only get better as the season goes on, Trevor.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to getting into the rest of the season in there. I mean, it was a short 10 race season. We got Charlotte, then we got Bristol, Watkins Glen, Darlington, Richmond, Talladega, Dover, Homestead. So a good mix of tracks there, Justice, for this little quick season 1 opener of them. And, I don't think there's a track on there that I'm not excited to see these guys go race at.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you my favorite one, Trevor, is getting to see them go run the Glen. But yeah, these guys are going to put on a show all year, all 10 races, and then they're going to get kickstarted in season 2. So if you're somebody waiting to see just how good it can get, absolutely hang around. These guys are going to make season 2 a blast as well. But I cannot wait to see how season 1 pans out. And I think we've got some guys that are going to be surprise contenders, and they're going to go out here and make some hay.
Yeah, they definitely are. Can't wait to get to the rest of season number 1 and then into season number 2. But for us tonight, up here in the booth, myself, Trevor Earhart, Justice Murphy, Rob Rader, running the production. That's going to be it for us. But if you want more Racing Revolution action, be sure to tune in to Wednesday night for the Racing Revolution Cup Series over on V-Speed's YouTube channel. And then if you want to hear more from me and Justice, tune in Thursday night for the TTR Short Track Series here on the Revo Racing Network for the second round of the playoffs for their second race, the cutoff race from Irwindale Speedway. It's going to be a great race to watch. You don't want to miss that. And we'll be back here Monday night for Charlotte for that race. But for us here tonight, that is going to be all. And we will see you again Thursday night.